Greetings everyone, StarCraft Starleague strikes back. Group E today with the most favorite Protoss player, like one of the greatest macro Protoss players ever. And Pusan as well, one of the old school guys. So yep, it will be interesting probably. Even very interesting. Let's see. It's already started as usual. Just to skip all the introduction and so on.
Huge confidence. No, not really.
Guys growed up, of course.
But, you know,
Pusan is like 32, 33, 30 plus years old, and Stork is about 28, 29 at the moment.
Recently I've been pretty sick. But since everyone supported me so much, I think I was able to focus on my practice, and I think I'll be able to play some good games tonight. Okay, Paceless.
Shitty design on
First, I want to
Twitch.
talk about this crazy excuse that his friends came to his house and spilt sesame oil too much, and it was too smelly to practice.
I wonder if that was caught on stream or something like that. I don't think we got the full story there, but like, so nobody brought their sesame seed oil here tonight, or toasters.
No, that's
Would love to see Stork versus Pusan games, especially.
Yeah, that was
too much sesame oil, guys.
could not be predicted there.
How did your friends spill it all over your house? When you start to spill it, you probably grab it and stop spilling it at that point.
That's when
How
they
does it
grab
get
the bottle.
all over?
You go, what are you doing? He goes, sesame seed oil fight, and they just start spraying it everywhere.
Again, those lame
That's
commentators.
the only explanation I can come up with.
Yeah.
So we're back here at
This
another,
is
at another
tasteless.
day of the ASL. It's really cool to see Pusan is back. He is
Okay, this is
very old school.
basically the coolest thing. So, guys,
Maybe
you
let's go
watching
to
at
the
home,
Korean
most people
Africa.
probably don't really even know who he is. Let
Yeah.
me talk about this man for a moment.
Please.
Think to yourself about the year that you were born, okay? And now think of a pink elephant. Oh, that's
Okay, just shut the fuck up, Artosis.
I'm inside your brain.
Whoa!
Retard. Group F, not super interesting. Well, good players as well, but none of the most favorites, for me at least. Would love to see Yellow, but he retired, like seriously retired. It was so blue retirement. I like how Koreans love StarCraft and its community. Ooh, match 2 Pusan versus Stork. Great.
It's certainly a fact, but just to have Pusan in here, I feel like deserves all this extra attention just because you do not get pro gamers this old. It is so rare, especially in a game like this. Like, sure, at the beginning of Wings of Liberty, Nesty dominated, and he was basically the oldest ever to win tournaments. But
By
that
the
was
way,
like a brand new
behind
game. He was
Pusan is a
brilliant
very
player,
interesting
figured out
story
the
how he
strategies,
gets
figured out how to play. This game is
into
so well figured out. To have someone that was a pro gamer
StarCraft
as far back
overall.
as 2003 qualifying here into the top 24. This is madness.
Like,
and it is
he
such a
was telling
special
that he's
moment
studying
for such a
some
legendary
weird
macro
shit
Protoss.
to his parents. His
So
family
exciting.
was
IamMang,
very
by the way, somebody
poor.
who definitely could get out of this
Only
group.
later, like,
We should be having a
well,
lot of
same
PCs
for
here.
a lot of
One group,
Russian
one
and
match practice for it. We'll see
like
how
Slavic
he,
players.
rotates between really aggro play and
Yeah.
macro
On
play,
computer-
because all
computer,
three Protosses play very differently. So I don't know if this is going to be a day where
appeared
these
pretty
compare
late.
against the
So he went to computer clubs as well, played there, and he was telling to his parents that he's studying some weird shit. But yeah, he was really like very good player. For the first year he won some tournaments, brought some cash, so yep, they bought computer.
So ggaemo should be feeling like he can get out, right?
Yeah, he has to beat one of these Protosses in order to get that far, but yeah, you're completely
So
right.
Pusan for the win as well and for the world, but anyway, Stork is the most favorite Protoss for me. Just his control of the map and his macro skills are insane.
That would certainly be very cool.
So we are starting off tonight with a Protoss versus Zerg. This is a best of one in the group phase. So
He's like the boxer of the Terran, like the most probably legendary players of StarCraft, Slayer's boxer.
That's right, and of course no one wants to go out in that last place spot. Always a
Well,
huge disappointment.
Reach as well for Protoss
It's
as
hard to say
Reach,
who will. Like, you look at the
Stork,
group, I think you have
Bisu,
to guess that it's
but
gonna be
yeah,
Pusan
Stork.
just because it's like, how is this guy even here? How is this guy even qualified being this old? And
Rain,
but who knows, man?
Yellow,
We'll
Yellow
see
for Zergs,
if
a god of
IamMang
Zergs.
can take down ggaemo, because IamMang has been playing
Like,
so well.
not only the god, really,
Like,
he's the greatest
he has
Zerg
shot
in
up his
history of
skill level.
StarCraft.
You know, the very first match we saw him in ASL, I was like, nope. But since then, he has been on fire. They even won the ASL team battle. His team did over Team Flash, which was just crazy.
That was an upset.
If I remember correctly, by the way, Yellow and as well as Pusan, they went into military service. They're back at their homeland in South Korea. And Pusan is back,
It's going to be very fun, man.
so he's again playing StarCraft Brood War.
Because it's like,
While Yellow retired in
he'll be really good. And when I say
2011,
Slayer's
if
boxers
I remember
yellow suck,
correctly.
It's not that they suck, it's like you compare them to Jaedong versus Flash, and it's different stratospheres.
It's almost a bit hyperbolic because at the time they were the greatest. What we've gotten so far and become so advanced in our understanding of StarCraft that it's like not.
Everyone stands on their shoulders.
Yeah.
And it's quite a weight that digs you in the ground when you played that long ago. And I don't know, having Pusan here
Yeah,
is not the same
shitty
as having one of
Twitch
them.
redesign. Now this,
They stand on their shoulders and therefore it pushes them into
damn it, they can't even close this stupid chat.
We're going into game number 1
Yeah,
of PvZ to start
feels
things
bad.
off in tonight's ASL.
I knew you liked that one.
I love it because you start off with we stand on the shoulders of giants, which is so true. Like because we're standing on the shoulders, like pushes them down, so like they can't
Into the ground, man. Makes it harder to be good.
Makes it harder to be good. So, you've just mutated that metaphor in such a funny way. At the bottom right, we have Mang.
That's what you gotta do.
Today those commentators are especially irritating.
ggaemo.
But yeah, I mean, this is the way that you make metaphors work overtime.
I almost called him Gumiho, and I'm like, no.
Oh my god. By the way, that was really funny when she compared him to Jaedong. I don't even understand what that was all about. It's like, Tasteless, you and Bisu are basically like the same caliber.
I know.
It's like,
and then Bisu would come and chime him in and be like, no, Tasteless is such a king among men.
Yeah.
Okay, so on this map, it's a one-on-one map. It appears that Protoss is going to do what is most common in the meta, and it's been pretty common for a while, but the fast expand build, which is harder than it looks because you have to have the perfect structure placement. Even if you do have it, you can still get busted by the Zerg.
What style will ggaemo use? Because he does have only ZVPs tonight, right?
Yeah.
And he could get out in first place, but you would kind of expect that if he gets out, it might be in second, right? Especially with Outsider being that map, so... he might have to alter his play a lot, like you were saying. Like, does he want to go aggro?
It is best of ones, so it's like I don't know how much you. I mean, you could cheese once, do 2 macro games, or it depends. We also see that there's a gateway coming down here, so he's going to be going for the pressure build and trying to get a rush in there early on. Zerg's going for a quicker pool, which is also quite common.
Probe coming up, gonna scout this all out. A lot of ZVP ahead tonight, and PvP perhaps as well. I mean, no Terrans tonight, tasteless. A little bit sad, but at least Terrans are advancing in that round of 16.
I think tonight might have some of the best PvPs in the ASL, just with these three really different Protosses playing against each other.
Yeah, they're sure to be very, very cool. Like, Stork would be the one that you think obviously is much stronger than the others, but I don't know. I mean, withholding my judgment, we already saw Shine, an old school pro gamer with a wife and kids, qualifying to the next round, so if he can do it, maybe Pusan can as well.
Certainly. We saw the Pro, by the way, block the hatchery for a little bit over there. The build that the Protoss is doing is one where you keep producing Zealots and rush the Zerg. And you want to force the Zerg to make Zerglings, and ideally you want to try to pick off some drones.
I guess
use the
that's
fact that the Zealot can get
better.
behind the mineral patches and fight the Lings in kind of a hallway, if you will. And then Protoss tries to expand behind that. But if Protoss messes up while doing this build, the Zerg just counters and kills him. So you have to be very careful. This is a build that, like, you can look really fancy and win a game, or you can just suddenly die because you were not micromanaging your Zealot enough.
It is quite true. The probe coming up will help these Zealots to two-shot with a single probe hit on the Zerglings. Third base is being taken here pretty quickly by ggaemo. So definitely something we haven't seen as much in ZVP in the ASL season so far, taking such a quick third against Protoss.
Nice.
So he's continuing to pump out those Zealots. It looks like the Zerg has matched him with Lings, and this is going to force our Protoss player to head back home. I believe he just now started the Forge. Yep, there it is. And he'll have to get cannons behind this, also taking his gas and tech up. And then we'll see what kind of game the Protoss wants to play. The Zerg is basically trying to make as few Lings as possible without ever dying to Zealots, and droning up and then picking a proper tech path after scouting out the Protoss.
And that is, of course, always the beauty of RTS games, the skimping by with as little as possible while being as greedy as possible. And I think he's doing a very good job this time, especially kind of realizing that, okay, it's a one gate Zealot rush. Going to take this very fast third. You know, it's going to take a while for there to be enough Zealots to actually come out again, especially when he sees this many Zerglings.
So, I will say that the cannon seemed to, like, it was a little bit late, but it looks like the Zerg never really pushed out that far.
Third fast exp.
Sometimes they get Lings to start to chip away, you know, at the outside of your base, and then you can fish the Zealots out and surround them and kill them. But these Lings don't have speed yet, so I think Protoss should basically be fine.
Yeah, they should have speed pretty quickly here. He was mining some gas and stopped, so that generally shows you that speed will be on the way. Macro hatch coming up here as well.
But actually, mass Zealots against such tactics of Zerg is a counter, because he wouldn't have possibility to cover everything with Sunkens, so...
Stargate now coming up here. So he's going to be making Corsairs out of this. How many, we'll have to see. Sometimes Protosses tend to get a lot. We have seen some games where they just get one and scout around, but I think in this game,
just legs and enhancement for Zealots. The mass Zealots could destroy it, but Stargate, I don't think Stargate was a great idea at the moment. Well, he decides to play macro, but I don't feel it's a super great idea against Zerg, which made third fast exp. And of course later he will go for Mutas, and it will be too late. It will be too late. Hydra is then, yep. It will be Hydra push, probably. And maybe he will just die to it because of Stargate investment. And Corsair as well, he will build Corsair, so it's maybe even two. So I would say Zerg is winning at the moment.
Just to kill the overlords, it's also to scout. You want to try to see if there's a spire making, for instance, how many hatches, how many drones there are. Anything that you can see for Zerg is going to be helpful for the Protoss. I don't believe we have a layer coming up here just yet. And honestly, okay, never mind. Hydras are coming out. I was going to say he needs to make sure he has defense for these overlords. If you start to lose one or two, things can actually start to snowball. The Hydras can't come out in time.
Two Corsairs, but yeah, Zerg will lose a pair of overlords, I guess. Just one?
Yeah, to be clear as well. He's going to get +1 attack.
And Protoss didn't see that there is a third exp.
And the way
but
the rally
now
points
he
are set
must
up, a lot of times the overlords will just bunch up.
he must discover
You
it.
can get some really good shots off. By the way, Mong actually got a second.
Mostly
game.
Corsair not only to
that's-
destroy
I mean, so
overlords
some of the
in the
Protoss players
early,
not
but
do.
also it's a
Obviously,
great
you-
unit
kinda
for
like the Zerg wants to
observing
make,
stuff.
you know, as many drones as possible and as few
-3
lings early on as
Zerglings,
possible to defend.
which
The
is
Protoss
not
wants to
bad.
make as few cannons as possible, but sometimes
Templar
they can
Archives,
backfire on them.
Yeah, a little bit of safety.
so
coming
he
out of
goes and
IamMang.
take,
Maybe afraid that
which is not a
ggaemo
bad
would
idea, but
pull the
again,
trigger and
for
do some sort of
such
crazy rush,
fast
but this
exp,
probe was alive for a long time. He kinda
Zerg
sucked
would
at
have
build, right? So
Yeah,
pretty
especially
big
in
economical
case.
advantage. It would be hard even with stack,
We have some more of these zealots coming up now,
but it could work.
Zealot
It
Lake should be
can
finishing
it
up
can
soon.
work as well.
and there's going to be a lot more gateways coming up here as Protoss has basically finished out the majority of his tech. He's going to have Templars soon. He's getting Storm. Now, the way that the Zerg has structured his building setup, it's a lot like the Protoss wall-in that we saw early on. You want to make it so that the Zealots can't just barrel in there. The Hydras can clog the little holes here. And this forces
Speed
Protoss
for
generally
Zealots,
to just
nice.
go back home.
But still,
yeah, that's
there
some really
can
good SimCity out of ggaemo, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's really
make
nice.
such a
Hard to
mess.
get those zealots to the holes, especially if the Zerglings back up like
not a
this.
bad SimCity,
Very
by the
easy
way.
to
One
keep those zealots
sunken,
kinda single file. Look at that. They really glitched down. He has to run away.
2 sunkens plus such
I think
SimCity and
the
Zealots
hatches to the left, I think that's a pure block. I don't think
quite
Lanes
can't
can
do
definitely
shit
get
with a
through.
lot
I
of
think the
Gidras.
Zealots
Yeah,
can get through there.
I don't think. I think it's
they're
actually- I'm
covered
not sure.
everything now.
We have to test that out
It's
later.
too
All the
late to
different
push with
structures, when you put
those
them next to
zealots.
each other, make for different areas of blocking, and so you have to map it out perfectly. But a good Zerg will always have a good wall-in set up there so that he can't be abused by zealots, because this is pretty common for Protosses nowadays, is to make a lot of zealots try to come out and surround.
He needs
base
to
and
try
kinda
to
have
build
your
third
filter drones.
exp and
Zealots
some
intercepting some of these Zerglings. There's a DT on the map now as
hid-
well. He hasn't
hidden
really picked up that many
place,
overlords,
but
so
of
not
course
sure
it's
where
hard,
the DT is going to be able to
and
get in for damage.
he will
He
not be
might
able
try
to
run
cover
with a few
it.
zealots and then have the DT run into the main.
Yeah, could be.
This is fairly predictable, though, from Protoss players. Sometimes you'll still get the Zerg anyways. It can be worth a shot. Other times, in fact, he has both the DTs over here, so he might try to run 2 of them in.
Oh, you know what? Maybe it's just because overlords are slow. He could zone the Hydras from helping out at third or something like that.
I think you may be right. We see the Corsairs coming up over
And
here.
he made
Just
upgrade
on that Overlord.
for
The
attack
Hydras
as
do
well,
drive them back. It's very important
for
that you
the
keep those
Aiur.
alive for as long as possible. These zealots are going to spill in here. And again, the
that was a
wallet
bad
is just too
idea.
good. There's
SimCity
no way the
just-
zealots can get around there.
SimCity
Actually,
is
Monk's
too
doing a very good
great.
job. He's just coming in here and poking the Zerg. Zerg looks like he's kind of defending perfectly.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah,
with just
it's
one
been
sunken and
fantastic defense
Gidras
coming out of ggaemo.
given no chance
And
with
his
SimCity
macro's
to
gonna be
Zealots.
pretty off the hook coming up here, so I'm a little bit afraid for Mong still, but there hasn't been any true pressure on him. It's just, normally you'll see Protoss do a little bit more damage, right? They'll get a few more overlords, maybe they'll get a couple drones. So far, really, ggaemo's been able to play his own game.
How many hatches is ggaemo on?
5.
He's on 5 hatches.
Yeah.
There are some busts that Zergs will do where they'll try to run in here and just dodge.
Zerg
the
is
storms
totally
and run you
winning
over.
this.
Yeah.
And that may be what we're having here. We see lurkers are being made back there as well.
Even
Over
Psionic
at third base. When the Protoss do
will
this,
hardly help at
Corsair
the moment
pressure
because he
build,
has
the
such a
Rotos
great
white lanes, we see
advantage
observers really just
in the
now,
macro and
going to be
economical
part of
with this
I don't
early
believe
third
he's going to
exp.
do a lurker contain.
Yeah,
ggaemo
it looks like it's
kinda
just gonna
made
be straight up
nothing,
and attack maybe some of the
nothing.
Burns
The
lurkers
overlords,
there at
though.
home.
He
To
never brought
pressure
those
him.
overlords.
He has overlord speed.
Yeah, but he moved a big bunch of them.
Yeah.
And then I think actually ggaemo made a mistake because there's no way he.
And even
after
he
seeing
killed
DTs
like
there,
one
would be okay.
a pair of
Just moving
overlords.
his, Hydras
It's
across the
nothing
map. I don't
when
think
he
he's gonna
has
suffer
such a
too many
great
losses, but that seems to be just a
economy.
mistake.
Well, I think at this point we have enough units for IamMang and should be enough Storm. Wow, look at that. A lot of Dragoons being added in as well for some anti-lurker tech. But
It will
it's
be
gonna
important
a
how
little
he will
hard for
avoid
this attack. Definitely gonna have to bring
storms
up
though.
lurkers at this point. There's so many Zealots, a lot of Storm as well. A couple Overlords coming over to the side now.
This could be a good moment for
Let's
the Zerg
see.
to strike, try to isolate the Protoss.
But
from the
yeah,
third
with
base that he wants
lurkers,
to take in the lower center here.
I think it
Now,
might
there's enough
end
Templars
pretty
out here, and
soon.
he has enough Dragoons. He can combat the Hydras and the lurkers. The Dragoons are very much
Probably
a
he will
counter
push
to
back the
lurkers.
first
The problem
wave.
is they don't really counter anything else but the lurkers. So if you overmake
But then he will not be able
Yeah,
to
big army,
rebuild his
probably
army.
not
For
gonna
Protoss
be
it's always a
in
problem,
great
while
If you
Zerg
ever have
can
only Dragoons,
rebuild
run
it
away,
very fast,
because
especially
that
with
will
such
make something or kill them.
Or
advancement
pray that you're playing against
advantage in
Terran.
economy.
One of these two things. So
A Terran without siege tanks.
that's right. Yes, a Terran in the first 6 minutes of the game.
Or Protoss player. There you go. that's where it's at.
Yeah.
Okay, another hatchery coming up. So going up to 6 hatcheries is ggaemo. Does he
Okay,
get to drop?
this is
No,
really
looks
smart.
like-
He's just going to drop.
Yeah.
Zerg's been forced onto 2 bases.
I don't
Protoss
think
is powering so
hmm.
hard, but the thing is, Zerg's also so turtled up.
Well, dividing the army,
Whereas the Protoss is very
not the greatest
vulnerable
idea
to
at the
drops,
moment,
and
but
dropping this over
yeah,
here, you
if
can actually kill all the workers.
if
and Zerg
if he
basically has to
even
hold this
even
down. I
will
don't
go
see
there and
anything up there with
he
the
will
Zerg
just
third
lose
base.
all
Yeah,
the
there's still-
economy.
Go ahead.
I was going to say the third is 100% going
And
to die. But
yes,
he's
now
gonna
he
lose
must
his
go back.
bases, like, he should
And
lose this
feels like
nexus 100%.
GG
He's lost
already.
so many
Like
probes.
he will not
And
be
if ggaemo just
able
like, does a big lurker
to recover from that.
turtle at
Yeah.
his natural with like sunkens and a spore and stuff, like
Yep.
it's going to be super hard
He
for
lost
Mong to win
he
this
lost
game.
I have
all
no idea
nearly
what
all
probes gonna be
probes.
sent. I don't believe we saw any sent out to that other mineral patch, which means that the
Great double
Protoss
drop.
basically lost all of his workers, now lost the Nexus. Now, it's the Protoss with the bigger army, but it's the Zerg with the better economy.
Minus
He
Nexus.
did leave a small army up here, but it looks like this was actually too small.
Ooh, yeah,
I don't think he
he's-
should.
Feels
I think he should
like
at least target
GG.
down the hatch and the Hydra. I don't know.
Not
man.
GG for
Yeah,
ggaemo
he's barely
though.
not gonna clear
Really,
that patch area, and he
his
lost a
decisions
chunk of
was
units for
not
it, so that's, like,
that
literally
smart,
the worst
in
thing
my
that could've
opinion.
happened.
Yeah.
He could go indeed
This is
mass
Zerg's game to lose
zealots
this
in the
point in
beginning
time.
and
All
punish the
that
Zerg
has
for
to
the
do is
third
keep
exp.
remaking his army, and in fact, he's
But he
gonna try to
didn't
go
do
for a
that.
contain here,
He
as knows that
built
this Protoss is
Stargate.
gonna lose a lot of
He went in
units trying
tech,
to bust out of a contain.
which wasn't a
That Storm
perfect
for quite
idea
good here,
against
but he's
such
not splitting his
strat for
workers
Zerg.
very well.
No, those storms
Very
are
well,
just
but
awesome. And
his
the fact that
economy
he's
is
even out
bad,
here
so
attacking is actually a little bit
it's not
surprising. I
very
feel like he should be
important.
at home after
Zerg would
dealing
just
that much damage to the
rebuild
economy
it,
here of his opponent.
The only
and
problem is that,
it would be
there were so many
okay.
workers killed,
While
I think he
ggaemo
could
will not
basically
be
make it
able
like
to
1-2
recover.
gateways while he's still making
GG.
probes, so it doesn't matter.
That's
Mong
it.
just Mong loses it. Gave a great job there by him.
Yeah, he played a very nice game. I love the drop that he did. He did it at a perfect time when IamMang
Zerg was
actually
good,
en route
while
to his base, which is like the best time. You basically start the
ggaemo
phase
was
before them,
not
and Mong
very
made the
good.
mistake of leaving just a few units and running home.
Hey, here's one of the mistakes that happened there. Zerg didn't have a fourth base, so there was nothing to warrant the Protoss moving out. Zerg
Like his micro was
still-
good, but
they
macro and
limited their
decisions
tools
in
and just
like
stayed on
tactical
three bases for two
decisions
bases.
were
Protoss
really
would power up
bad.
hard and then take the last second expansion.
Yeah.
But drops is one of the few things that they can end up getting later on. It's not the most common thing, but they can actually then drop you, and the Protoss has to go all the way back, and there's nowhere
Yeah.
for workers to hide. That's it.
By the way,
Okay,
you
the
pointed
next
out last
match,
time that we were casting
the most
BBC
interesting
here,
in
where the
this
Corsair
group,
were sitting at this point in the game
Stork
on the
versus
road,
Pusan.
where they actually sit waiting for that
Great
specific
tosses.
drop. And
Yeah.
that's something that we didn't see from IamMang. I'm not sure. I think they were floating over near where like the fourth base might have been for his opponent.
He kept poking at those overlords in between the natural and the main, and it just wasn't worth it. So mistake there by Mong. He's going down to the losers match. Our Zerg goes up to the winners.
Yes, so that's good for ggaemo. I mean, that's going to be fun to see if he can take out Stork or Pusan, who are going to play next Tasteless.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
Old-school Protosses.
I know. I cannot wait for that. Pusan, super old school Stork.
Oh yeah,
a legend throughout
Pusan
the
is
entire Brood War.
I already told the story how he
And we are going to go to a short break. then,
entered the
and,
StarCraft
after that,
scene
we'll go
overall.
on to the
His family
CDP
was
here at
poor,
ESL.
and he was talking that he's studying, but actually he was going to play StarCraft. And by the way, Pusan started to play games very late as well. It's like hello 12, talking to you. His friends introduced him to StarCraft, and okay, we'll be right back. So yeah, his friends introduced him to StarCraft, and he just addicted to it very fast. And he was telling his parents, he was from poor family, really poor family. He was saying like he's studying something while he was going to play StarCraft Brood War, but he really was good at it. And for the first year, he already entered some tournaments. It was early zeros, won some tournaments. For that time, like even $50, it wasn't bad. So yeah. And then they bought a computer. So yeah, like Pusan's background is pretty interesting. Well, for a lot of guys, a lot of pro gamers, the backstories are quite interesting. Of course, it wasn't such, easy decisions, or how I want to say. Yep. What about Stork? What about Stork? Well, Stork is about 28 or 29 years old, while Pusan is 33, if I remember correctly. Something like that. So a short break and we will be right back to the probably the most interesting match of today's Pusan versus Stork. Okay, we're back.
I mean, I remember when he came on the scene out of nowhere.
Growed up
"Hey, I
Pusan.
heard you guys are dead!" And it was like, oh my god.
And Stork without glasses looks looks kinda weird.
Somebody who's got some of the most calculated builds of all time in StarCraft 1 out of all the races.
So again, Stork is the greatest, in my opinion, the greatest macro Protoss of all time in history of StarCraft. Like his control of the map, his controlling and macro style is absolutely insane.
Like, he was strong. He had very long.
As a control player
good, strong
myself,
career
I just
overall. You know, had good results.
really
right
like
into it and all, and
it's like
Showed great games for his fans.
yeah, he tried his best.
He
but,
wanted
hard
his
even
fans
to
cheer for
say.
him, and they did.
like, he's definitely like a legit.
like would be
player, but
understatement.
again, you know, you stand on the shoulders of giants, and like the scene has advanced so much since the
Pusan
time
is
that he
great
was
player as
killer,
well, but I
right?
guess Stark will win.
So it's just
this,
exciting to have him qualify
this
for
group.
tournament. Now, can he do something
He
crazy?
must, he
One of the
just
best
must
players of all
win
time.
it.
Let's find out. This is our second game tonight of PvP Pusan versus Stork.
By the way, he went into military service like 2 years ago, I guess. Finished it. Came back to StarCraft.
In the bottom right, in the yellow, it's Pusan. In the upper left, in the white, it's Stork.
I just can't
And they
wait to
just
see
changed it to the red, by the way. We'll be viewing this with him in the red color.
How time flows, damn it.
Pusan, a player who's so good they named a city after him.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. You nailed that one.
Yeah.
I just remember watching
Stork,
those games in
player's so good.
early
Yeah,
zeros,
they named an
like it
animal
was
after him.
yesterday, really.
That's even
With the
that's
younger
even bigger.
Stork
It's the
and
animal that
Pusan
brings
and how they
babies. Yeah.
changed.
Babies wouldn't
Holy
even
shit.
exist without storks.
That's right. We wouldn't even be here without Stork, because that's how we got here.
Yeah.
Indeed, indeed, Stork.
The it's so
The
cool
bird,
because
the god of Protoss.
everyone is kind of known.
It's
for their
like
own
it's
thing.
like
Every
boxer
StarCraft
to
ever,
Terrans.
you know, it has
Stork
their own
is
distinct fingerprint of how they play.
the
And I
king
would
of
probably,
Protosses.
thinking about it right now, like put Pusan as like the middle Protoss of macro, right? Like, I guess you look back, right, and Reach was like the original man toss, like just making tons
Reach
of
Biso.
nerds.
Yeah.
And Pusan kind of brought
But Stork
macro
is
to a new
so
level.
like special.
And then like eventually, nowadays we have best.
And he's
it's
younger
like,
than them
that's
as
just what
well.
Sony is, it's stupid.
Yeah.
But like he is.
He's not super old
I don't know,
school.
man.
And there's somebody, it's so funny, it's like GuemChi really showing us that you can use arbiters.
Mm.
You know, these different
Everyone
characters
has done.
that come up, and we're like, okay, or Slayer's Boxer showing us how to use
Micro.
drop ships.
Yeah,
Micro in general, but especially with drop ships.
Absolutely,
You know?
absolutely. He was. That's why, like, Marine King, like, named himself after Boxer. Like, Boxer came on the scene and used dropships to kill.
Like, yeah,
Zergs
nearly
and Protoss in
only
ways
guys
no one had ever seen. It was so crazy.
which he lost was
It's
boxer in
funny, I
early
remember we were getting
zeros.
speed buff to dropships.
Well, not
to where
only,
they're at
but
now. And I remember there
yeah,
was like a
in the
solid
big
week where no
tournaments.
Karen ever lost a game to a Protoss.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was like the
It's
sickest.
funny, too, because when Slayer's Boxer did it, he would actually, like, sometimes drop just 2 siege tanks and siege up
Oh,
and just try to
yeah.
kill workers. Which seemed
Well,
to be
Boxer
decent
was,
counterintuitive now, 'cause people are just ready for that. They'll
older,
drop ship
more
and
experienced,
at the
and
time, it
he's
was
like
what
one of
were
the
they-
most wise
Oh my god, they're
Yeah.
just shooting down all my workers.
wise players in StarCraft
so,
overall, not only for
here's
Terrans, but
PvP.
overall,
We do have Pusan.
with super strong
down
micro
here,
control.
He's made 1 Zealot, and he went for a later scout, whereas Stork went for an earlier scout, probably wary of what generation build order Pusan might come out with here. That's
Yeah.
one of the tricky things when you play against somebody that's much older, is they might be playing a completely different style, and you're just not used to it.
Yeah, it definitely could be
So
the
they
case.
both go into standard, but
And
with
also, I
Zealot.
think just,
Next one will
making
be
sure that he scouts
probably
so early
Goon
has to do
for
with the
both
fact that
already.
Stork has to value
Upgrade
himself as the best
for
player in the group,
range
right?
for
And
Goons
then
plus
that's
2,
always gonna alter how you
which
play.
will give from
You're
4
gonna
to
want
6
play a little safe.
range.
You're going to want to do things like scout quicker. We watch pro games guys. The guy who is clearly the better player will oftentimes scout first because they don't want to be caught off guard by anything.
Yeah, they might be thinking, are you going to cheese me? Like, what if he makes 2 gateways, you know, right outside of his main and just rushes him with Zealots?
Yeah. It doesn't matter how much better Stork is. Pusan could kill him with that if
Yeah.
he's not ready. Absolutely. Well, range on the way. We'll see if there's any of this 3-gate type of play that we saw before on this map. Wouldn't be super surprised by it.
It's
Probably
very
both
tempting
will
to
go
3
into
if you don't have a clear range
Exp.
you can guard, because you're just at risk of being overwhelmed.
Well, Stork for
We see
sure.
our players fanning out with their
I'm
units
pretty
right now, see
sure.
if they can't catch any probes that might be trying to scout out early on. Dragoon range is on the way here for Pusan.
And we have something proxy.
They're
at the
checking the
bottom
map.
left.
Yep.
What is that exactly?
Oh,
Is that a couple of gates?
yeah, hold on a second. Actually, I
Robotics.
almost had to do a double take there. It looks like
Yeah,
he
I'm
doesn't
not
have,
sure.
he doesn't have vision of it now.
They play
Oh,
safe.
never mind. I'm
That's-
sorry. That's
yeah.
part of the map. That's actually
Yeah,
something you can kill to block that
That's
off.
what
I don't know.
For a split second, I thought it was, and I thought, no, that has to be
Well,
a doodad or
it's
something.
yellow, right? So I was like, wait a minute. Is he like going 3 gates with 2 of them over there? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Never mind. Sorry.
Okay, good catcher by Pusan. The reason why these Dragoons are forked out like this is because the opening builds are so important. They're trying to catch anything.
Yeah.
In fact, this is a pretty good scout here from Pusan. He just sees that there's a few units up there at the ramp. He wanted to see if there's a Nexus making. And it looks like for Pusan, I believe it's 3-gate Dragoon with a Nexus. It's gonna
Like,
be rough.
you would
Yeah,
say
he went
this
Nexus
fast
really
X
quick.
would
So I
give him
actually feel
advantage,
like this
but
slot that he's in right
actually
now
with
is
this
pretty cool. He's gonna be able to macro him
fast
up and up. He's
robotics,
gonna
if he
dive
will
anything here
be
that Stork's
able
gonna
to
start
harass the
playing
economy,
a
it
lot
can be
safer
even
this
better.
opener,
But
which
yeah,
in
he
some
went
ways,
Exp and
I
he added
talk
1
about this a
gate,
lot
so
with
3 gates.
StarCraft too, like,
Against
playing
2+
safe
robotics
in
and without
PvP,
Exp
whether it's
yet.
StarCraft 1 or 2 can be one of the
Let's
least
see.
safe things you can do, because if your opponent's
It will be
coming
very,
across
very
and
important how he
trying to
will
play on
use this
everything,
river,
that's where you
because
have
it's a
to
huge
see.
investment
So it
again.
looks like the build that Stork's going to be doing is two
And
gates
usually in
to an observer,
PvP,
two
like 3
shuttle
gates plus
reaver.
exp
This is like the bread and butter
is
PvP build,
kinda
centered around playing around
a
this,
better
or
idea.
trying to
Not even
counter
better
it.
idea, how I want to say. It's more effective.
But hold on a second, is he going to make a nexus here? Because if he does, then Stork's behind.
Yeah.
Now, granted, if you
I
can
haven't
go
actually
But of
seen
course
the Reaver Tech over there. Have
you
you seen it?
no, but we
have
saw the
worse
observatory. I'm
Yeah.
assuming he's
tech.
going to get it, but if he doesn't, okay, then this means that in
But a
some
better
ways,
economy and
Stork just
more
won.
mass.
One player got a nexus. And more
It's
games,
not
one
always
player got
that you
an
can
observer.
use river
It's
for your
much better.
It's
advantage.
significantly quicker.
It's not so easy,
Nexus for
especially
Pusan,
when
and like the fact that he got
another
his
player
3
doing
gates
observing.
really quickly right after this Nexus, he's in good shape. There he goes. He's starting to put some pressure on. Already picking off a
Minus
couple
2
of
goons,
Dragoons. It's a
while
big
minus
deal.
1
Still
and
pushing
Zealot.
forward. Stork's in trouble
Yep,
right now.
Stark is
Absolutely
in
he
trouble.
is. Good targeting here by Pusan. Look at the
Damn.
splitting of the
Oh my
Dragoon
God.
shots.
Shit,
Now he's ignoring the
shit.
Zealot, which is doing a lot
Looks
of
like-
damage here. But I have to say, Busan's in very good shape right now. The fact that he's going to basically have
And he will just
Dragoons,
add and add and add
gives
from
him
3
several
gates.
gateways. I don't think there's a third gate yet.
This is a really
He is getting
a
the
huge
Reaver
problem.
tech. This
No
is a
river yet.
shuttleless Reaver tech, I believe.
Yeah.
Which is usually to stop an avalanche of
Stark is
running over
nervous,
your
you can
base.
tell
Which is
already.
exactly what's going to happen if he doesn't do. Like if he's
Yeah.
making a shuttle, he's going to be in trouble. A few probes have been pulled to make sure he can live. Better to lose probes than the
Damn
game
it.
right now.
Looks like
Now,
Stark
Pusan
will lose
coming up,
this
he's gonna
one,
start
yeah.
getting this
Oh
Nexus.
man, this is so hard
This-
because you really want you need the
this
Nexus
is
stop,
harsh.
but if he makes a cancel, I feel like that's almost
So
checkmate.
bad.
The way
Yeah.
that Stork can win from here is to wow.
Cancelled
Yeah, he
Nexus.
has to Reaver push to win this game.
Okay,
That's it.
no, Pusan's
Yeah, he
great.
has river,
Pusan,
but-
back up.
Yeah.
Pusan, you're a madman here.
Now he already put a pylon behind the minerals,
Just
by the way,
mass,
so that you
just
can drill
mass.
like that if need be.
Probe drill.
And
Yeah.
here it is, Robotic Fertility, and his second base is already working, he has economical advantage. He could just build and build and build, while Stork can't.
So that's a common trick, but it
So yeah, feels like Stork is will lose
And
it.
what's funny about this is
like,
you can see
very
there was
high
a fear of
chances from
possibly
here.
DTs coming in here. That's why the observer was up. And Pusan played right around that, never went for the DT tech.
He wouldn't
now that we have Stork behind,
have possibility to harass with
it
this
seems
river.
to me that he wants to just make a nexus, but
with
I can't
such
emphasize
press
what
and
a
mass,
deficit he's
so-
playing from.
yeah.
At this point in time, Protoss has so many probes, can now have a huge gateway explosion. He's actually going to match the Reaver tech with his own
Yep,
Reaver tech.
the
probably
legendary
expecting
Stark.
that surely his
My
opponent
favorite
will just
Protoss
do
player
a
of all time.
Reaver Dragoon push and just try to counter here.
From younger
Sometimes just
ones,
having
well,
two
and
Reavers
probably
is
overall
enough.
as well.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, he did not make a Nexus there. He is going to do the
No,
Reaver push. I thought he was going to make a Nexus, and I'm like, wow, you are really confident in just surviving the next 15 minutes of this game.
yeah.
Rich, probably
Yeah,
from
you
old
think he was
schoolers.
Straight die from that. It really, when that Nexus had to get canceled, it leaves you only the one option, right? What is your advantage as Stork? It's having the quicker robo. So
Right.
if he can do a 2 Reaver push and somehow micro like such a god that he can overcome the crazy macro that Pusan is going to be showing us here.
Well, for me it's
Then,
Stork,
hey, this is good
then
win,
Bisu,
but
then
right now, it is
Roach.
looking grim indeed for Stork.
You can see right now Pusan putting a
Roach.
whole layer of pylons
Yeah,
outside
Rich.
the exterior of his base.
Like the
so
bird.
that he can see if, let's say, a shuttle Reaver
Like
try to fly
if you
in
are control
probe,
macro
that's
player,
all
then you will
Pusan has to
understand
do
why
essentially
Stark,
is
not
defend this
Bisu.
push, and it's GG. It's Reavers versus no Reavers out yet or in position here for Pusan.
He's
Let's see
just
how
the
this
god
goes.
of macro
Stork
and
tries to
controlling
push
the
up,
maps.
Does lose a Dragoon instantly right there. Pusan
Was
knows
at
what angle he's
least.
coming from. Excuse me.
Time
Couldn't
flows
pick
so
up the rest of
fast.
the
I
units
think
again.
They
Stork actually led
changed.
with a bruised Dragoon, by the way, there,
Yeah.
which is a big no-no. Now, what Pusan's doing is he's just buying time. He knows that you got to be pretty micro-intensive to push. There's one shuttle
Still
up here.
no
He's gonna drop his
experts.
own Reaver. Now, the angle may be better here for Pusan. These Reavers...
Yeah, this flank is doing pretty well, actually.
Pusan microcontrol is absolutely
Reavers
great
being dropped
here.
way out front. Stork with some fantastic micro-
Very,
those
very
Reavers
nice
are
shot.
awesome.
Destroyed
Okay, he
Pusan's
gets the
Reaver.
shuttle. I believe he
But
should get the
still, a
Reavers
mass
targeting here.
is
If he
working
gets
for
that
Pusan
mass
and economy
Reaver,
as well.
all that he has
Kills
to
it.
do is go back, keep making Dragoons of his own, use his probes to defend. There's no more threat of Reavers
Still.
coming following this push here.
Yeah, he has to pull some probes off. He has
Still
to utilize
Stark
his
is
Reaver,
losing.
and he should be able to hold on against these Dragoons. This is all he has to do is kill these Dragoons, and he's got it.
Okay, the Reaver's out. He's coming forward, but you can see the Reaper's at a very good angle, by the way.
Great micro control from both of them, of course, but Pusan's decision was better in the beginning. Like again, it's more effective to build 3 gates,
He has a shuttle of his own and a Reaver, where I believe Stork has probably had to restart.
and he had so much faster expand. I actually waited fast exp from Stork, as he's again one of the greatest macro players, but they won standard in the beginning. One Zealot, then Goon.
Ooh, even gets a scarab hit off there, gonna push Stork back.
Both built pylons in the second. I thought they will take fast exp, but Pusan went for it, and Stork decided to build robotics. And he couldn't use it effectively because Pusan added 3rd gate. He had more mass, and Stork never flied to harass, never dropped it. So yep.
I think Pusan definitely realizing he's got like a really good advantage right now. May want to close this out because if there's
So Pusan has better potential, and he realized it as well.
You're certainly right about that.
It's very hard to. You can even see that Stark understands that he's pretty nervous, and when player gets nervous, usually on pro level, usually they lose. And even by economical means as well, Pusan is ahead and far ahead. Actually, I don't know why Pusan decided to go back. Of course, there was River, but he could harass him a little bit more. Like +3 goons, Stork had probes. He helped with probes to blocked, but I think Pusan could kill some more probes to harass his economy even more. But he decided just to go back and win some time.
That's where you're dealing all the damage. Oh, this is a great play here too.
He's killed 2 observers,
DT,
by the way.
let's see.
Right now, Stork wants to be doing things like making reavers, so this is nice.
He's just checking 3rd exp, nothing is there.
Since you spent most of the game making these dragoons, which stand still while they fire.
No obs for Stork with the army, which is not very nice. Pusan takes 3rd exp.
And like even if you
on
try
the
to save
7.
them with the shuttle's almost dead right there. So everything gets picked off very quickly when you get into Storm Tech. Now the DT actually running past. Oh, there is an observer there, but he's running right past it. Oh my God, this is so bad for Stork.
Now, he might even want to run to the main. No, he's just going to come right over here now.
-2, -3, -4, GG. And
yeah. Oh man, yeah. He totally doesn't see
why?
Because he's not even attacking either. It's not like
He's not even seeing it. What the hell? Feels like Stork is not in the best shape for sure. Like all probes, and he did nothing.
One of the greatest Brood War players of all time.
Oh damn! Yeah, one of the greatest players of all time was. He just can't do anything.
Okay, now Stork knows for sure. I was wondering.
Oh shit!
He cut probes entirely. By the way, he was not making probes.
Time flows, guys, and again, Stork.
Oh my God.
Stork went into military service as well, so well, time flows. We're getting older, not getting better. 22 kills, 23, 24. Holy shit! Value of DT. GG.
Target the Reavers of his opponent. One Scarab does connect with the Reavers having to be microed here for Stork.
Well, you can see for sure that Stork is
GG. What an upset.
Well, Pusan is a great player as well, and I like him. Can't tell he's like the most favorite, but again, I already told a story about his past and how he entered the StarCraft community, and he's from a poor family, so he used to say to the family that he is studying while he was actually playing StarCraft like crazy. Computer for him appeared pretty late. He won some tournaments as well in the early zeros, Casper times.
One of the most accomplished players of all time, Stork.
A big victory here for Pusan.
Indeed, I thought Stork actually will win without losses in this group.
How will he do in PvZ?
That's
Interesting.
That's his wife, by the way. Obviously very excited to see her husband now dominating again in the game he used to be one of the best in the whole world at. That's right. We're going to go to a short break. When we come back, our winner's
Short
match.
break. Okay, guys, I will turn on some StarCraft music, and we will have some break as well. We'll be right back in like about 5 minutes. Stay tuned. Of course I know, look there, Krong. I'm streaming it from Group C. Those guys were not so interesting for me. Well, Snow and Shine was very interesting, but... So watch this. A break. Okay, and we're back. Break finished. Okay, those retarded commentators, let's hear what they have to say.
That's what I'm worried about. Is that
Yeah, he played really strongly before, so I'm not sure.
he seems to be a natural in this current meta. PvP did not change that much throughout the history of Brood War. I mean, people got trickier and
Indeed.
trickier, but it was always the same idea.
Yeah.
You know, have enough to defend against a big zealot rush, then get a bunch of dragoons with range, try to figure out the right tech. Are you going to play Orthodox and get Reaver, or Unorthodox, get DTs, or skip Reaver? And maybe you'll go into a late game. But PvZ has gone through so many changes, especially
Fast
in the late
DT is
game,
pretty
you've
orthodox
seen,
as well.
the way that you push, the way
Actually.
Zerg turtle now.
But it's risky,
and
it
there's always a chance
depends
that our Zerg just rushes.
on observing and what your opponent is doing.
Pretty big map, a lot of expansions here.
But yeah, if you go robotics, then you go river, and then like
Because it is a big
observer
map once again, and he can get quite a
is
nice
very-
map going on, but
very
that's what
close.
Pusan excels at, really. You know, he
Yeah.
wants to be able to show you that he can work all 12 gateways at once while attacking. You know.
Yeah, I think if we
yeah,
can
again,
do
of
a
course,
micro
we
game,
will see
Pusan's
what's
gonna
going on,
control
but
that. The question is, what can Zerg do to curb that, stop that, sandbag that?
when you
make it
play,
better?
it's not the same, of course.
Not so sure. He played a very turtley game before, so I feel like this could be turtley once again. And
Hopefully
can get
Pusan will
himself
win
into
this
that
one
macro
as well.
game, and having seen the way that ggaemo got out of it with the drop, that's not something Pusan's going to just let happen.
Right.
You know, if you saw that earlier, you're like, oh, okay. If you're turtling for a long time and then I make it so you can't break me, you'll probably try to drop me. And this is something I don't think will work against him. Well, I mean, I guess if we go to outside later on, sure it will, because you can drop anywhere on that map. But
Yeah, and by the way, the next match we have is really important because if the Zerg loses, Outsider's a tough match for Protoss against Zerg. Anyways, we have these two players. Only one for now is going to move on to get that much deeper into the ASL. Let's find out who that'll be.
And by the way, forgot to say that Pusan is one of the, I think, most popular streamers of StarCraft Brood War in Africa.
In the upper
He's
right,
streaming
in the
quite a
brown,
lot
it's
there.
Pusan. In the bottom right, in the orange, it's ggaemo.
Plays on fish. Well, like most of them play on fish.
That Pusan playing here.
Well, this is-
I wonder
this is
why
what's
Light
so,
is
fun
not there. He's not in
about
Starleague, while
past
he's
the
top
game
5
old is there's so much
player on
history.
fish, and he plays Terran like crazy. He's such a smart and great player. He's in such a great shape.
Really long history.
Yeah, nothing.
The fact that we have these
Even
guys,
our best Russian
you know,
players
a lot of
could
people
not beat
say
him
stuff
even
like, "Oh, he's
once.
too old, he's not that good."
And
watching
Toss,
games
Terran,
with him,
Zerg,
I'm
they
like,
tried, but they
I
lost.
don't know if that's
He's just
that
so
much of a
good.
factor here. We've had a lot of players who've been around for a very long time, and the ones who've stayed active and trained hard are bringing us some of the best games we've ever seen.
It's very true, and of course everything has really changed quite a bit since.
Well, you know, like if you will compare level of world StarCraft, like Korean StarCraft, and Slavic, American, some, it will be
That's a trick.
like they're strong players, but if we compare it to the world, to Korea, they will be not that great. Koreans will just rip them to pieces.
Mechanics, you can still play this game. It's kind of like, which is really a cool thing about StarCraft 1. It's a bit different in that way. The metagame
Korea
changes, but
StarCraft,
it's not
indeed.
as swift as something like StarCraft 2, where it's like you can be so far behind on the meta, you don't play for a month, and you're
Yep.
like, oh my god,
Yeah.
what are the strats now?
Yeah, that's very
Whereas
true.
here it's like, I mean, the strats will change slightly, but if you can macro still and you can micro still,
Yeah. You can try to get a read on your opponent.
yeah, you can get up to speed really quickly on what people are doing strategically. So, yeah, it's really we've never really had this happen before because just the scene was so different and rewarding
Wait,
just young
he
players
just
grinding endlessly. But now
made
we've hit
two
this
of them?
place where we can have a player like this come back. I'm in love with
Well,
it.
it's also
man.
exciting
Place,
because,
like,
because we don't
very
have these big
safe.
teams and team houses, and a lot of people will immediately say, "Oh, well, you've got
But
to be on a team Not
Well,
really
actually, it's right,
organized.
because
The
he's
internet's
not
pretty
doing
powerful. If
the
you're back
block
in the
yet. No,
Ambient,
it's not a
you also need to
SimCity.
have really good latency.
Okay, gate.
So therefore, you had to be playing on land. Now we have Lings making a beeline up to this base. Looks like he's going to try to catch. This.
He will even save
The
probe,
wall has
really?
been set up so that basically the Lings can't get through. But
Why-
This is uncomfortable right
Why?
now.
Why he
Protoss. I
decided
feel like something is
to
almost a
move
little
to
bit
the
off
left?
with the
I
way this
wonder.
game is going
I
for
think he
Protoss. It
actually
still
could
doesn't have
save it.
Nexus.
Yeah, the hatchery just started for ggaemo, so I'm not too afraid here for Pusan. He's got the two.
Yep,
cannons,
I
so
think
this
he
is
actually
really
could
doing
save
as
the
long as he
probe.
keeps his
I
focus
don't
on
know
it.
why he went left.
And I mean,
to the west.
Like Pusan's showing us that he's very well practiced for this. Like the fact that he had the timing of that Overlord going up perfectly on the left, and then
Okay,
he has
exp,
this wall
third
just
exp
right,
for Zerg.
double expand because he went all the way into.
Zergs
Zerglings
play
stuff
really
before he
inputted, but they
expanded.
must play
Pusan,
as
I'm not too afraid
such,
from him.
because in
thing
such
more
way,
about
because
here
it's
with,
same
Pusan,
when Protoss plays against Terran, he
what
must
any Protoss player
have
has when you
+1
all those
exp to
probes
win
advance.
usually.
Because
Like
you don't know
playing
you might
with
see
Terran
much
with
more ways to
same
try to run in.
exps
So
is
Protoss forced into this position. So
a
there were like
suicide.
6 probes not
So
mined
Zerg
there.
as well
Yeah.
against
Um,
Protoss
Now,
must
he's still
have
making probes
+1
back
to
home.
win,
The Zerg
to have
very
economical
quickly,
advantage, because
switch
stack
back
of
into
Protoss
drones. You can
just
see now he's
destroys
running into a layer
Zerg.
tech, and with that other Nexus up later, it's going to be a later second gas. It's going to be a later.
Of course,
probe
if
transfer.
we're not
So
talking
we'll see.
about
It depends
super
on
late
what
when
the Zerg
defilers or
choose to do.
Tralisks are there, but
But
still.
this could be tricky.
It certainly could be. Now, Pusan, will he just go straight up into
Early,
Cross's
mid,
gas?
and even in late as well.
Interesting.
Just
Still taking
psionic
3 probes at the front.
is
That's
such a
not
great
that doesn't really know what's
thing.
going on. He sent a unit out. I don't know if that's a probe or a Zell. I didn't get to see, but probably a probe just going
It's pretty
down south
standard,
to
but yeah, but
try
it
to
was
have
pretty
an eye
pretty
on how
fast
many
third
Zerglings
exp.
there are. Like, is there an all incoming?
For instance, he sees there's no Lings with speed, which is actually pretty helpful.
Let's
That
see
means
if
there's still
Zerg
gonna
will
be a
go
hydro bust, we know
into
better. The Zerg is technically
Ghidra
too
push
late.
or
But
maybe
yeah,
in
the scary
Muta.
thing for Protoss is that a good Zerg can basically prevent you from scouting early on until you get core
Yeah,
Zergs
speed
out.
of Zerglings,
Whereas the
it's
Zerg
one
can
of
scout
the
the
fastest
Protoss that way.
early
That's quite true.
units in StarCraft Brood War.
At least seeing the front.
But
the
again,
wall will tell you so
shitty
much about
imbalanced
what Protoss is
vultures,
doing
the
because some
fastest
depth
unit
as
in the
well.
game.
The
So imbalanced
coming
Spire.
up,
Okay,
I
this
don't
will be
believe that we
interesting.
have a Stargate quite yet, but wouldn't be surprised if we see that thrown down right away.
Yeah, we're still waiting to see that definitive tech from the Protoss as far as what
Let's see what
exactly he wants
Pusan
to
will
do
decide to do.
in this game. This is a tricky one, guys.
Yeah,
He's
He's
trying,
afraid of
yeah,
Hydra Bust
he's
right
trying
now.
to go
Yeah, like,
and
that's what he's really
lol.
looking for.
Yeah.
So-
And
I
we've seen a
think
lot of
that's
Hydra Busts
actually
in this zone.
Zerg's
Now,
mistake.
This one probe got in, which is actually a shock. Can he get to? He sees a layer. Oh, he did not see the spire. That was
I
not
don't
close
think
enough.
he saw it actually.
May not have seen the spire, but seeing the layer, I think, is actually enough. Because if you're going to do like a truly crazy Hydra Bust, you're probably just
But
going to skip that
that's
layer.
for sure. That was
But it's
a
gonna be like a 3
not
hash
even
Hydra
little. That
Bust,
was a
right?
mistake.
So
Oh my god.
throws down double Stargate. Perfect
Corsair
choice.
Reaver.
Yeah. Now, this speaks to his age.
Yeah.
Corsair
this is-
Too loud
if
to
something
spy
does.
like
so
that.
this is actually one of the hardest styles to play. It looks really simple until you actually try it out, and then you're like, oh my god,
Yeah.
this is like, if I make any mistakes at all, I die. If my opponent is good at adapting against this, 'cause it's not used that often.
No, it's old as hell.
Old, yeah.
Like,
so
this comes from a time before Bisu revolutionized this matchup.
that's right.
Indeed.
And it's like one of the things
Well, at
that
least
the
commentators
Protoss
know
players,
the,
Protoss
like,
players that came before
math, if I
Bisu
can say so,
would do to try
history
to
behind
go
it.
against
That's
Zerg.
good.
So
Well, they
I'm
play
very
StarCraft as
excited
well.
if he fully commits to this,
But
this
sometimes
strategy.
they
Okay, so what you do is you
say bullshit,
mass
but
up a good amount
usually
of
they
Corsair. Sometimes you pull
comment
them 'cause you
quite
don't want
good
them
indeed.
to really catch on to what you're doing. You make a bunch.
if they're talking
You
about
want to
StarCraft,
try to
not about
blindside
some
the mutas. You want the mutas to
shit,
come to you and you're
which
like,
has
you
nothing to
kill
do
all
with
the
StarCraft.
Corsairs. And then you want to start flying around the map with a shuttle and a reaver. Now, if you lose the Corsairs or the shuttle and the reaver, you're basically dead and you have an obsolete tech. So it's
Goodbye,
like,
Goon.
it sounds awesome and really smart, but then if you mess up at all, it's game over. So the Zerg probably expects there's going to be one Corsair, maybe some Templar coming out here, and he just wants to try to come in here and hit some of these workers. So the Corsairs are going to be sent southbound now to intercept the mutas.
Yeah, a couple Corsairs running right in them, going to force him to go home. He's going to have to switch into Hydra for sure. Does not want to
this,
stay on mutas against multiple
Now,
Corsairs.
there's been two ways to play. Oh my
Ooh.
god! He was
Wow.
not supposed to lose that Corsair.
Why?
No.
So
Really.
there's been two ways to play this, and one is where you just keep making Corsairs and Reavers, and you actually get disrupted.
Feels like
by them.
Zerg is just in better
I
shape.
think that's really the best way to play, but it's been done before, and it's really good on maps that are not like this, where it's open. The other one is you eventually switch into either mass Dragoons, like with the Corsair Dragoon Reaver push, or you just switch into a mass Protoss army that would look like what you were going to tech to anyway.
Some Scourges.
Scourge in here.
Minus
Wow.
one
He's now
Corsair.
killed 2 Corsairs, and he's
Two
bringing
more.
up more Scourge. So this is actually going wrong for Pusan. Like,
Yeah,
oh my god.
very wrong.
Oh my god, Tasus. Like, he actually had an advantage.
And
in
it
this
would be
build
wise to
lose
just
3 Corsairs.
fast go
It's not supposed
into
to happen. I feel like the first
Ghidra push.
Corsair, like, he was like,
while
these
he
dudes are gonna
thinking
run.
he's still building
Yeah,
Mutas
and
and
then they didn't run, and then he didn't pull it
hop
back quick enough and it died.
and
I'm
go
like,
to
okay, I
Ghidra
understand,
push,
you expect
and it
them
would
to
be
run, but
GG.
now he's lost a couple more because he didn't have the cannon to stop the Scourge, and
But looks
ggaemo is just massive.
he wants to go further with those
It's
Muta.
funny because the Zerg can combat Corsair.
Oh,
Reaver
that's what I
head-on
say.
with muted-
Ghidra
muted
push,
Scourge, but
incoming.
It's a bit trickier for the Zerg to pull it off than it is for the Protoss.
I don't think Pusan
The
will
Protoss just basically
will
micro
expect
away,
this. Well,
and the Corsairs
he must
can
think
do the job
this
for
way as
you.
well. He must
But,
understand that
Zerg just
Ghidra
went
pushes
head-on into this. See the probe trap there? In the
can-
upper right?
can
He has that
come.
mound in the same hockey grip as his Corsairs.
What?
No!
Okay.
Yeah, this
He's
is
lost like 6
feels like
Corsairs.
GG.
This is
Feels
actually
feels
the point
like
of no
GG.
return, I believe.
Yeah, this
He's
is
making
like
bad
so,
decisions,
like if he had 6 more
and you can
Corsairs
see
right now, he would
like
just attack,
by
move, and kill
Pusan's
everything
reaction that
flies.
he understands that
Is
he is
another
losing
reason
it
the
already.
Hydra's out.
Yeah.
So the Zerg has better air and better ground. The Protoss has literally nothing going for him. And this is one of the reasons why you
One
don't
river
see
will
this
not
used
save
that
him.
often, guys.
He wasn't
From
supposed to
that
lose that
Ghidra push,
Corsairs,
probably.
no. Like this was some truly sloppy play from Pusan.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, well,
Sleep
you know, it's
hold,
unfortunate.
sloppy
Out of all
sleep
the builds
hold.
that Protoss can do against the Zerg, this is the one where like each unit is so important. It's such a linchpin unit.
Yeah.
And
It's
he's
all
still
tech
building
units.
them
Yeah,
from
that you
2
can't-
Stargates.
Yeah, it's
He will
all
just
tech.
lose to land.
There's not something like Zealots where you're like, well, I can trade these in, and if I,
I
lose
think
one
ggaemo
unit,
has,
then
like-
maybe 100 minerals. It's like, no man, like
20 plus,
Protoss
30
doesn't
plus
really get
Ghidras.
Zealots for a long time to do this build.
River
So
just
usually what you do is you
can't
kill off all
defend
their
it.
lords, kill off all their mutilasts,
Even more,
and
even
start
more
dropping,
now.
killing drones and threatening the Zerg, and you're
3
building
numbers, I
around
guess
them
3 or
for
4
long.
numbers of Ghidras.
Maybe he can hold on to
Feels
the
like
Reavers,
GG.
And if ggaemo gets like really sloppy,
And
things could
Mutas,
start
don't
to
forget about
turn around a
Mutas
little bit,
as
I
well.
guess. You know, it looks like he wants to go probably
Which
into
can
the
harass
Sky
there,
Storm,
harass
or-
there, kill
I mean, you might
probes
just
there
wanna
and
get a
there.
Templar and try to utilize the huge Corsair
And
count to get
destroying
that.
the overlords
thing is,
will
right
not
now,
help
Pusan's coming down here
him
and
so
hitting these overlords,
many
this is
at the
blindside.
moment,
Okay,
and
this
that's
is
it, he
Yeah.
goes for it.
So he
Like,
just comes
goodbye,
in here,
River,
targets the mutas
and
on the
then
Reaver, and the
Ghidras will
Hydras
just
will
destroy
probably
everything.
come in here and
Goodbye.
win the game.
Yeah, only 2 cannons are not going to be able to hold against everything ggaemo's.
Corsairs can't attack land, as you well know. He will just do nothing. And you see on minimap how many Ghidras are still incoming. GG. Rip Pusan.
No.
Okay,
Way
very well
too
played by
much going on
ggaemo.
right now. Unfortunately, his
He goes
Templar
further.
is a little bit too late. To have DT save him here.
Hmm.
The critical damage should be dealt before
Nice
those
micro, but
hammer
it's
outs.
not enough.
Yeah, really.
Still, GG.
It doesn't matter though. Pusan knows it's over. GG.
Well, not actually not super GG, because Pusan really made such mistakes and
You're going 2 Stargate Corsairs,
sleep hold
someone that
plays.
actually
So
Spire Tech and kept making Spire Tech.
Yeah.
Like, you can't. Yeah. The thing is, he killed the cannon at the natural, so that's like a layer of prevention for the Scourge and Mutas doing anything against the Corsairs. But you had cannons right nearby. Like, this was definitely a sloppy play from Pusan, and he's going to be regretting this all night. He doesn't make it.
really not a lot what Protoss can do against such a fast economy advantage and Ghidra push. I need a lot of zealots with speed to counter it, and you need to harass.
Some people might say it's somewhat obsolete.
Yeah.
I appreciate him trying it.
While Pusan made quite nothing with those Corsairs and 2 Stargates, and he lost like 8 Corsairs.
Our first out of the group team.
That was really bad. Cool control of Muta, by the way. Let's listen what he has to
Advance
say.
to round of 16, first place in your group. How do you feel now? I was quite nervous, actually.
오늘 경기력
Yeah, Zerg was very good and stable. In both games he played really very well.
Pretty happy that I could play like I wanted
Like,
to.
nearly
Are
no
you
mistakes
satisfied
at all.
with your performance?
Very
Well, I'm not really satisfied. I think the first match didn't
Confident,
go as
very
well as I wanted,
confident.
but the second match
I wanted
really
to say.
뭐 연습할 때도 잘 통했었나요?
처음 쓸 때는 통했었는데 두 번, 세 번 연습할 때는 안 통했었거든요. 근데
The build you used in the first match, did it work well when you prepared it?
방에 갔을 거라 생각하고 시도했던 건데
예, 그러면서 첫 경기를 딱 잡았을 때 오늘 올라가겠구나라는 생각.
I think that IamMang really didn't expect me to do this build, and that's why I used it. Did you expect to advance first place in this group?
지호 형이
예.
Honestly,
아니 그지 고맙진 않았지만 뭐 속으로는
Stork is in my
내심
group.
좋았죠.
예. 와,
So I figured it's pretty clear he will make it out first.
그때 느낌은 어땠습니까?
저는 로보틱스 먼저 봐가지고
Pretty thankful to Pusan for knocking him out for me.
근데 제가
Indeed, pretty thankful. Why not?
달려들었던 게 더 좋았던 것 같아요.
뭐
Feels bad for Stark. I thought he will actually destroy all of them.
근데 16강에서의 그런 그 좋은
It was like passing through, you know, group for him, but he
일단
just failed.
했던 것보다는 훨씬 많이 올라왔기 때문에
He wasn't in a good shape today.
Doing too many offline matches lately.
Feels Stark, man.
Yeah. The round of 8?
네.
제가
Says,
세레모니
well,
하나 하기로
어?
했어요.
네?
I think I reached my goal, to be honest. From now on, I'm just here to enjoy things. That's his wing ceremony right there.
네,
Salute.
세레머니는 세레머니고 이제 또 아시다시피 16강에는 훨씬 더 쟁쟁한 선수들이 기다리고 있잖아요. 멋진 각오 한 말씀 부탁드립니다.
다른 선수
Yeah, a lot of them were in military service actually and came
World-class players are going to be waiting.
back home and
놀랍게 만들 수 있는
decided to continue playing StarCraft Brood War.
감사합니다. 축하드립니다.
Says I will prepare well.
Most of them under 30, many of them 30 plus,
Show another great performance.
someone close to 40, like Boxer who is 80s, birth date is 80. Pusan is 85 if I remember correctly, Stork is 88, so he's like 27, 28 right now. Pusan is about 33. Okay, break again, guys. Those shitty ads between every match. So, yep. Be right back in about 5, maybe less minutes. Stay tuned. Okay, break ended. Let's go back. It continues.
Set. And then
The thing is,
Pusan
Stork-
is waiting on Outsider, which is like a crazy map.
The thing is, as legendary as Stork is, I don't feel like he's in the same kind of condition that we see, for instance, Bisu, Jadon Flashin when we're watching their games, where we think, damn, they're really good.
I tend to agree with you that he seems slightly below them right now.
Right.
But truthfully,
They're just telling what I said already, that he's not in the best shape at the moment. In comparing to the past, when he was like one of the greatest players of all time.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Good luck to Stork and Mom as we go into our
Indeed, best wish, Stork. Inside or outside of StarCraft community. Still will be a legend of StarCraft.
Makes me think I'm about to
forever.
start playing a track on F0 or something.
Yeah, actually,
That's what
a
it
good
is.
comparison.
I miss that game.
Okay, Stork is red.
Was that the name of it? F0?
In the racing game,
Yeah.
with the space or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, that's a great game. In the upper left, Mom.
I like Captain Falcon. Shut up.
In the bottom left, in the red, our legend Stork, who could get knocked out and not win a single game here tonight.
Yeah, wouldn't that be wild? You expect him to get really deep. But who knows? PvP, crazy, whoa! Circuit Breaker is our map here, 4-player. See how they end up playing.
Circuit Breaker
Of course,
is a
last time
great
we had
map
the
as
game
well.
on, Stork was trying to play too safe. And
Yeah,
as I love to harp on, when you play too safe, it's unsafe.
in PvP especially.
Yeah, especially, well, that's, I guess, specifically what I'm talking about. You can't play around everything. Because when you play around everything, cutting edges wins.
Yeah, some guy who just really rushes towards something very decisive.
Yes, exactly.
Sometimes will trip you
Some
up.
foreigners.
So, yeah, they're both hugging the left side of the map. The early game of this looks really simple, but actually is quite technical, depending on what they're going to do. But we can deem some of the things that they're going to probably do as be not as concerned with zealots as you would be on other maps, because there's locations, there's 4 of them that you can spawn in on this map.
Yeah.
I think both will go pretty standard, as you can see, no cheesy
Yeah,
Like on Camelot,
tactics,
it's actually a
no
much more
proxy gates, no
complicated
trash
map
like
than
that.
indeed. Because it's a 4-player map, you might see something like Stork scout cross positions, so you can see if there's
Which
bubbles
actually
in there.
Rain
I might do that as
tried
well.
to do
I
in the
think Stork is
previous
less likely to
group,
fall for a rush like that, just because, again,
but was countered and lost
more
very
safe in
fast.
general, you wanna
Yeah, that's
play.
one of the things in
Yep.
Rumours is the better you are, the more you
Not
actually just
disappointing.
wanna go into a
Well,
normal
of course,
game
I
because it's
understood
usually
that
just easier to win.
it was
If you're the underdog,
an
a
irony.
lot of times you will. Looks like they're both
Wrong.
gonna check for that possible rush and see.
now they know where each
Rogue
other's
Sci-Fi.
bases are too.
Yeah. But yeah, if the better you are, normally you just want to get into a normal game.
Both
Yeah,
probes
because you're probably gonna
understood,
win in a
found
variety of different ways,
each
where
other,
if
and
you're a
they
worse
understood
player,
that
um,
one
you
is
might
in
be a little
upper
faster, but
left,
of course
other
there's
in the
predictability
down
factor
left,
with that. If you
and they
know
went
you're
right
playing a
there.
rush, you can just check for that and counter it as well.
Yeah, like for instance, if Stork was playing against a random guy on the internet, right, some fan that watches this channel right now is listening to us, he would go for like 2 gates, some zealots, an observer, before he does anything, because he just knows he'll kill you. You
Yeah,
know,
no matter what, he's
as
gonna
long
be
as
faster than you
as
later
long
on.
as he does not die to something like DT right, or a zealot rush, like the easiest to pull off.
Hold up,
easy.
hold up.
Block, pylon block, by the way, but Zealot is there. I don't think it's super wise idea, but probably he will cancel it before it will build to the end. It's yes, it's irritating, but it's actually not so not so harassing the economy when you have already a Zealot. If it is done before there is a Zealot, then yeah, it's actually afford that, especially when you block 2 probes.
You can't stop it. It just kills you basically.
Yeah. Then your Dragoon comes out and it's trying to kill a pylon at the longest. It takes forever.
It takes forever for the Dragoon to get out in the first place. And then
in the
Zealot
previous
deals
group,
with it very, very quickly, so that can actually clear it and force a cancel.
they made
So
it.
anyways, he's dealt with it pretty well. Stork's pro.
Well, probably Kronk, you just don't watch Brood War a lot last time. It's a common trick actually. Not usually, of course, they use it, but yeah.
but it is something you can do to try to trip up your
It's
opponent
pretty irritating.
early on.
Yeah, like for
It's hard
instance,
to destroy it if you don't have
you
zealot.
use
That's why,
canceling
like
that
default
off,
standard,
and more minerals
sometimes
were lost for
if
Mong
they go
than for
without
Starleague.
zealot, just
Yes,
go for goon, then it's a
yeah.
problem. That's why they
Four
usually
groups were, like,
play
three were
as
glitching,
standard.
one
They
was stuck.
play zealot
And he
only
wants to go
then
around
goon.
the back.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. And that's way
Even
more than
even
45
against
minutes.
Terran,
It's
against
underestimated
everything,
when you
like
see, workers get interrupted, how much money you're
zealot
actually losing.
only then goon.
But it's a lot when you see workers get interrupted. Now, this was a great scout.
By the way, maybe
Mong slipped in the back right when.
let's
Stork
turn the
tried to
chat
push out.
on.
He was able to
Why
scout everything.
not?
He sees there's a robo at the ramp, which can sometimes mean he's going to do a Reaver expand without a shuttle. Doesn't necessarily
Just-
mean that. Oh,
Just in the
It's now from Mong.
and I believe he had a robo too, right?
Yes, he did.
So-
Right up at the ramp as well.
So. He probably
let's
started
make
the
the
robo
height
before
less
that robo
like
added there,
that.
but what he'll do is
Okay,
he'll just get the
perfect.
observer and probably try to get a bunch of dragoons and maybe try to sneak out and expand. Now, this map in the middle
Let's
is
refresh it.
wide open.
Ok.
And so even though Dragoon Reaver is really strong, if you get like a really huge arc,
Just
around
write
your
something
army,
that it can
you can end up
jump to the
with
last
Reaver not
one.
being able to be utilized.
Okay, back to the game.
But we don't know if Stork's just going to do the same build he did in the last game. or
Three
he's gonna
gates.
Try to sneak an expansion up here.
Well, he's gotten the Reaver tech already, so
As
gotta
well,
get that Reaver
as
up
well.
quite a bit more quickly, and hopefully hold on against anything Mong does. Now, Mong with the quicker 3 gates, definitely
Exp.
going to be
Exp
producing
for
out of
Stork
those.
this
It
time.
looks like he wants to hit very fast here.
Yeah,
Looks like he
that's very true. I wonder. The problem is if he just goes 3 gate
he
with
ate
Dragoon,
that loss
you're okay
and
if you get a
decided
Reaver
to
and
go
yeah.
exp.
put
But
on a low
again,
battery, you might
after
get a shield
robotics,
battery.
he's
You
he's
might be
playing
able to go
safe,
wide, it's
pretty
not gonna
safe.
shield, shuttle right away. Well, you can get the Reaver out faster and get a Nexus up, and you're not really going to try to attack them with this build for Stork. You're just trying to get a base up and get into a healthy mid game, and then win from
Yeah.
there.
Now, 7 Dragoons and a Zealot. It's going to be probably 5 Dragoons and a Zealot on the other side with a Reaver on the way. So definitely this is something that IamMang has
It
to
would
hit
be
very swiftly when
sad
that
if he
Reaver
would
comes out.
lose
It's gonna be a
again
lot
to
harder
those
hold on.
masses.
Or rather to break him. 4
Yep.
Dragoons, 1 Zealot. There should be one more
Again,
Dragoon
the
popping out,
situation
I think,
for
in a
Stork is
second.
Yeah,
pretty
I believe
harsh,
correct.
really.
Now, he actually
Really
stood on
very
the
harsh.
ground.
If
Oh
he
my
will,
God.
This is actually a
but
pretty good
Reaver is
build. The
there.
Reaver's coming
Nice,
down,
nice,
so that
nice.
definitely can help. The Zealot
One
getting in
Scarab.
front, already picking off some of these Dragoons.
Good shot,
Stork
good
getting a lot of
shot.
trouble trying to get
To
to the high
3.
ground. Some
Another
great
one.
Scarab connections here. A drill with the
Nice,
probes
nice.
as
It's
well.
not bad in probes,
Oh,
but
and
he
does
lost.
end up killing that
He
Reaver.
lost it.
Okay, so he's taking the
And
Reaver
3
out.
goons
There's still
more.
Dragoons, though. It's important to note. Right now, it's 1 Dragoon.
Feels
against what's about to
again.
be
It
6.
seems
As
pretty
these other
bad for
reinforcements come in,
Stork.
CC5,
Oh
this means
shit.
that, this very acute timing
Feels
may
like
just
GG
barely work out.
already.
I have to say, I don't think that the Scarab shots are fired perfectly there by Stork.
I
He
think the
actually went
first
down
one
the
was
ramp.
good, and then the second one was a little off, and
Yeah.
he barely lost the Reaver at the end.
It's
And
important to have
plus
your
3
army, your
goons
small
more
army in
coming.
front of that Reaver so they can't get over to where it is.
Even if he will use
Taking out
probes,
this Nexus
it would
is
hardly
bad,
help.
'cause it might
Reaver,
be
yep,
similar
Reaver is
situation
a
Stork has to do with
answer,
Reaver
but he will
pushing
lose
in.
Nexus.
It definitely could be. Now,
Of
luckily
course.
for
And
him,
what the-
God, this rally is-
What
Nexus
this
is
goon
not
is
up yet for Mong. He
doing.
started it, but this is not like up for 100 years like it was in the Pusan.
GG.
Okay,
GG.
takes that out and just targets down the
Minus
Nexus. And he
Nexus.
says, see ya, running away.
But probably he will lose till the he will play till the end, of course.
Well, to be fair, he definitely wants to be.
And while he
smart, but
harassed
not
him,
in
he
this
took
game.
exp
No, not
himself.
this game, for
IamMang
sure. So,
placed
now,
exp
what's
there.
funny about this is that he wanted to, Stork would have the Nexus
Yeah,
up,
really,
get
Stork
those
is not in
speeds
the
up,
best.
and then have, like, a nice
Not
driven
even
push a little bit
it's
later on.
it's
He took the
understate
Nexus.
understatement. Not in the best. He's
I
pretty in
think
bad
Stork just
shape,
does the same thing we saw the first time we saw him play. Is just
Yeah.
trying to do a Reaver push.
unfortunately.
This, you know, what
Ah,
really sucks
feels
is
bad
he
for
brought
Stork.
that second Reaver down the ramp to try to save the Nexus.
I thought we will
and he lost
see
Reaver
like
and the
legendary
Nexus. That
plays
is, like,
as
the
in the
worst
past,
thing,
but
in the
again,
whole
what
world,
he
because
why
he
he's
has an
going
additional
with
Reaver
one
here. Okay, he
goon
can actually do a push, but he doesn't have a shuttle. He doesn't
like
have a Reaver.
that.
He doesn't have a
That's-
Nexus. He has like less
that's
Dragoons.
lame.
Stork has 0 going on. Look at this. He's
Shitty,
trying to punch out against more
pretty
Dragoons,
shitty
so he has
micro
to
as
pull
well.
back.
And
I
if you note,
have
the
no
way the
idea
Mong
why
backs
he's
up,
doing that.
He goes right at that ramp because he knows if Stork tries to run through, the ramp acts like a filter, so all the Dragoons can't get there at once.
Like,
Mong's Dragoons are firing,
look on
his
the
are
Stork,
not.
he's
And Stork now trying to come up here with an observer. He wants to see what the status is in Mong's base. But
Yeah,
he's gonna
no
see that
comments,
Mong is
no
mining
comments,
from an
just
expansion. He'll be able to check the patches to see how long that's. Oh my
Yeah.
God! Wow.
You can see it on his
Stork
face.
is not going to go for the push.
Well, I think he's looking at this and saying there's just no way.
Just
Yeah,
as I
that's
said,
right.
in
Really break him right
professional
now, so
gaming,
may as
if
well
you like
expand. Hopefully
allow
he
your
realizes
emotions to
Reaver's
devour
running
you,
off
then
and come
probably
back,
you will
but
lose. Like not even
that's
probably,
a very
super
tall
high
order.
chances that you will
Sometimes with
lose.
this build,
You can't, you just
If
can't
it went a little bit better for Stork, you can get shuttle speed later
play
on,
like
start
that
doing these
and
crazy
show
drops,
those
especially in these
emotions,
spots, and trying to
even
come
to
back this way, but
yourself.
I don't know if he's going to get it this time around. We have a shuttle, but I don't believe this
Everything
there's
will
no speed
just
as far as we can tell.
fall from your
Well,
hands.
You know what? If he pokes with the Dragoons, maybe he pulls the army to the side and can get in with a shuttle.
Yeah,
and do
goons are
something,
there.
but This is
He
like,
can't drop.
Stork right now is really just trying to make something happen with nothing. He's trying to be MacGyver at this moment. He's got a hockey
man.
ticket and a paper.
0-2 for
Yeah.
Stork.
The Nexus is almost
Well,
done.
I didn't know
I have
that
to say
he's
Stork is-
in
I know what he's
such
trying to do, but
shape.
it's really
I
risky
thought
trying
he's
to be out on the
in
map
a
when your
better
army
shape
is
at
basically
least,
inferior.
to say at least.
He's hoping that Mong might be tempted to try to push out in the game and he can jump back in there with his own Reaver and drop the probe.
Still a
and
good
be
show,
able
of
to
course,
attack.
but
So I have to say, Stork did a pretty good job.
I
Between the
wanted to
observer, the
see
shuttle,
great
the Dragoons, he actually managed to
games,
get Mong all the way back
not
to
just
his base.
show.
Whoop.
The only other thing that could have happened is they both shoot scarabs and both get picked up. It's like,
Now, he
maybe
doesn't.
Pete can be funny like that.
He doesn't want the Reaver to shoot that pylon. That pylon actually has a lot of defensive purposes because sometimes the units, when they first get there, might fire the first shot at
Well,
the
he could
pylon.
shot
Or
goons
the
just
Zerg
with
might fire
click.
the pylon, and
You always
don't
want to
care if the
click with
pylon takes damage. You want your army to be
reavers
safe.
again, because
Now,
if you
Mong
don't,
should
they
have
shoot
a
at
counter
random
push lined up
targets.
here. And it's going to be pretty difficult here.
So
for
it's
Stork
very
to
hard to
see if he
control,
does decide
especially
to
when you
go
have like
make
4
that
reavers.
push, but
It's nearly
instead
impossible
try
to
do
control
it
all of them.
and
2
just
is
keep
possible,
massing up
3 is
and
super
making
hard,
it
4 is
That
nearly
could
impossible
be.
to
It's
click all
definitely
of
gonna be
them.
hard to try to push over the bridge. You have to go down to the side.
The
and
wise
stuff. A lot
targets,
of
because
maneuver
Scarab is a
will
unit
go on at
itself.
that
It
point.
takes
What will Mom do? Is he going to try to punch through?
the shortest
Okay, the
way,
way
like a
he's walking
unit,
around,
which,
looks like he wants to.
like imagine Zealot is running to Goon, Scarab is making the same
Even
shit.
though you know this is coming, it can be pretty difficult to deal with. Going into the main is unlikely in these positions. Okay, so he's going to come over here. Let's see if Stork can grab this shuttle if Mong overextends. Now,
Totally sees that. Mong, we don't really see if anyone's adding tech quite yet, like anyone wants to get a Citadel. But if someone's going to take a third, I would say it would probably be Mong at this point. Stork is still on
Citadel,
the back
yep.
foot. Citadel now coming up here for Mong.
okay, Mong's going to try to go for it.
Ooh. All right, here we go.
Uh-oh. The shuttle needs to get under.
Took-
Oh, my God.
Nice,
That hit
nice.
was so magnificent.
That pick was really great, like 2 nearly at the same time, but again, 2... Oh, fuck.
The Reavers are trying to fire down at each other,
Another great
while
pick.
putting the other scarab shots from the opposite
Minus
side.
Reaver
Now,
for
one Reaver
Mang.
versus 2. Stork is actually playing a little bit better here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mong
like
seems to have
micro control for
overextended.
Stork
Goes
was
after
great
that
here,
shuttle, takes out its
but still
shields
not enough, I
as it does
guess.
get away.
Some
But
really
he
awesome
pushed
scarabs
that
from Stork.
out.
This is
That's
exactly
nice.
what he wanted to happen is
That's-
for the battle
that was
to
a
come
great,
and then just play
really
better with
very
the
nice
Reavers, and he
moment.
did it.
And now Stork is back
Now
in
adding
the
Citadel
stages.
and
And I have
Forge.
to say, it was pretty ambitious for Mong to try to push in and kill him there.
It was.
Usually the defender has a little bit of an advantage, as it's harder to
A little bit, not a little
shoot the
bit,
Reavers forward,
but
it's easier to
damn
try
it.
to back up with him.
Drop
Now he's
incoming,
gonna try to do the follow-up.
but he sees
Don't
it
even
and
try that.
probes
Do
are
not
coming
do
back,
that. That's
nice.
Suicide. Stork with a lot of observers out on the map. I don't see where the other observers are here for Mong, but like
Usually you
Stork's a
want
pretty
to
good
have
idea
at
of
least 2
everything that's going on.
goons
Stork actually could come back
in
and
such
push through
places.
Yeah, I don't dislike his position completely now. You know, he did a great job holding on to that. He's got enough units. I'm not too afraid. His Citadel is a little bit later, so there still could be another strong push coming up with some speed lots in there.
So he's now getting the Templar Archives. Mong is. I'm actually not clear. Does Stork have a Templar Archives?
He was putting up the Citadel last we saw. It was a good deal later, so if he is making a Templar Archives, it's not done yet.
This is another little mini game that happens in PvP as you're running around with the observer trying to shoot out
Probably
the observer.
making attack
Templar
upgrade,
Archives
of
started-
course.
By the way, Stork made 3 Reavers, so I think he's afraid that Mong's going to try to push again. And funnily enough, Mong, it appears, is going to try to push again, or at least the bare minimum do a contain.
Yeah, it looks like a contain for now as this probe moves up here to take the 3rd base. So I like the idea behind it, but with these speed lots, I would be surprised if he does not poke in and try to get something done. The speed lots really kind of screw up all the micro that you're having. They're very good.
Zealous is a good
destroying
idea.
units.
Actually, Stork needs to build some too.
It is
Like,
three
I
Reavers,
see
but if
only
you come
two
in
of
from
them.
as many angles as possible, and you have your own Reavers, he might be able to break him. His army is still
this
really
smart.
big.
He's just going to run in here. He does a little drop. Now, this isn't going to do too much damage, I don't believe. That Scarab most certainly is not going to connect. But he's interested.
But still, a train of
He's gotta
probes.
be
It's
contained.
harassing economy
Stork
anyway.
needs to get a third base 'cause Mong's getting a third
While
base.
it's going
Stork,
here and
unfortunately,
there,
always behind in
they don't
these
give
games.
resources. So
Doing
yep,
a good job of playing from behind,
stopping
but
economy for
not
some
winning
time.
so far.
It's very tough to do. You know, these guys know how to play PvP at quite a high level. Look at that Stork, very low health on this shuttle, but moving down towards his third base, so definitely wants to be able to secure this right now.
Now Mong retracts his army out into the middle of the map. Says, I have my Nexus up. I'm ahead of you even if you do take a third base. We have one DT sent out here.
I don't think
It's gonna
actually
be
Mang
caught easily
built
here by
Nexus
Stork.
yet.
But is Stork going to try to
There
push? I don't
yet.
think he should.
Just
Xel'nagas are
pile on
slow
some.
No, I don't think he's pushing. I think he's just like kind of
Maybe
posturing a
gates?
little
What-
bit
what-
here.
what
He
is
definitely still
there?
has good vision, as you pointed
Let's
out
see.
before. His observers
Oh,
are spread very well.
Two
Mong has
photon
cleared
cannons
them,
and
so
Nexus, okay.
if he just kind of holds this area, continues to kind of match Mong for techs, he can out-micro him in the battles. We already saw that once.
Yeah, very true. Zealots and Dragoons going back and forth right now. Mong, both these guys are going to be getting close to maxing out. We need to see some Templars incorporated with the rest of the army. You can see Stork very concerned about not sending his shuttle out, because if he loses that, then he probably can't come back. Simply put.
Yeah, it will be
Stork's
very
coming out here now.
important
He's gotta
how.
be careful. This
Whoa,
shuttle
whoa,
is
whoa!
high.
Just two shots and
God,
it
if you were to
will
lose that.
be destroyed.
Oh my God.
Drop the fucking rivers, damn it!
He's
Whew.
got to hold his ground here.
At least he
He's
didn't
gonna be
lost
so
it.
careful about this. Scarab hit comes out from IamMang. Those speed zealots chasing back these dragoons. Stork has to retreat.
Ah, stupid goons, the most
In
stupid
fact,
unit
is
in the
Mong gonna try to
game.
push through the ramp
And
here?
River
If he
as
lost
well,
that
by the
shuttle,
way.
loses that.
Two
one
units,
hit
two of the
left
most
on it.
stupid
Yeah, I
units in
think
the
if
game,
you-
and
if
they
you
are
kill
Protoss
Stork's
ones.
shuttle and
Feels
Reavers, then he
bad.
just pushes in
Yeah.
and rolls
Now
it.
look at this. It looks like he
As
has
you will know,
side
my
storm,
life
and
is
this
for
gonna be
Aiur,
such
so.
that you can't even pick these up because the shuttle's solo. Look at that
Oh,
side storm.
Wow.
nice storm.
God.
Somehow that shuttle's still alive too.
Yeah, I don't even understand that. But the Archons going in the front. The Archons of Stork doing some huge work against these Zealots. All just getting up
Huge,
together.
but not enough.
Reaver is doing big work
Just
against the Zealots as
Zealots
well,
plus
but a
goons
huge
and
army of
destroying.
IamMang pushing down.
Goodbye,
Yeah, Mong
River.
does take out that last Reaver. Now keep in mind,
But still,
Speed Zealots rallying in with some more Dragoons here.
quite
And I
equal,
don't think
but
that Stork should have enough.
Mang
In fact, he's
has
gonna morph one more Archon and keep pressing.
two
And
more
this could
Archons,
cause
yeah,
Stork to
one
crumble.
submerging,
He's
one
running away right now
ready.
with just his few amounts of units. Now, this
A few
Dark
Zealots,
Templars could do something.
more
We've seen
goons.
No observers with
Okay,
this
Dark
army,
Templars
so the
coming.
DT can turn this all around until Mong gets an observer.
Yeah, in fact, I think this might keep Stork in this game a little bit longer. Good control there, blocking the Dragoon with the.
But
the
yeah,
figure
but
of the
that's not
DT.
enough.
However, I think if he just gets one more observer, he should be able to push through.
But yeah, just winning a little bit of time.
Possibility we don't see more Reavers made. Sometimes that happens when all the Reavers are picked off and Storms in the game.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit.
Yeah,
easier.
crazy
I think
Korean
you're
micro
right. It
blocking the
should
path.
just basically be High Templar
Classy.
Zealot,
Like in
Archon
good
from
good
here
old
on out.
times.
Maybe a couple Dragoons mixed in there, but I think Stork at this point, he is just scraping by. IamMang looking ready to possibly kill him and eliminate him, giving Stork last place tonight.
Mong is trying to close this one out. He does take out the observer over there. He may be making DTs back at home. And he wants to jump on this expansion. There might be too many Zealots here for Stork and too many Archons here for Mong. So Mong would just win the fight outright.
Maybe here he comes towards his
Nah, I
third
don't
base
think
right
he can.
now.
He will be able to defend it. And River is there. Archon, Psionic Storm, nah.
Pretty easily. And that should be
That's-
game here.
Just about nothing left here for Stork. You can see him turn his head sideways.
GG.
Wow,
Jeez.
Stork gets knocked out. Mong's going to our final match.
Really.
Again, in the beginning, Stork was kinda not very well later, but later his micro was impressive. Especially with the triggers and drop, but not good enough.
He just got into such a bad spot there.
Nice try.
Hard to come
Stork,
back after such
he's now been eliminated. So
such
we're
fail
gonna
in the
move on to our
beginning.
last best of one for tonight. Mong versus Pusan.
Yeah, and that's a match that maybe Pusan is able to win. Maybe he's able to go up to that finals. He already beat Stork.
Shit happens.
We're gonna take a
Well,
short break. When we come
shit
back, our
happens.
final match for tonight's ASL.
I just feel, you know, a lot of lovers of StarCraft thought that Stork will win this because, well, Stork is a legendary player, and one of the greatest Protosses, but not a lot of people know that what he was doing, how in what shape he is. Me as well, which kinda again, StarCraft Brood War is nearly the only one game which I still watch, but I didn't know that he's in such kinda bad shape in comparing. So yeah. Okay, break again. Actually, wait. I know. I will show you the epic moment. How you use Dark Templars against shitty Terrans. Wait a second. By the way, Kronk, which was your main race? Just interesting. Okay, 1 second. I will capture it and will show to you. How do you use DTs? If it's must be there. Must be somewhere there. Yeah, here is Mind Drag, absolutely crazy Mind Drag. Let me show you. This is classy, of course, quality because it's super old video, but still enjoy. That's how you do it. Holy fuck. That's how you do it, indeed. And commentators. That's how you do it. Yeah. Another great, one of my favorite storming in the history of StarCraft is Jumpy versus Nada. Absolutely sick game. Classic Protoss versus Terran. Watch this. And by the way, imagine that those wet pussies who are shouting are dying tanks and so on. It would be it would add to the picture. That's wet Korean chicks from such precise storms. Oh. That's fucking crazy. That's how you do it, yeah. Wet pussies from such psionics. Okay, a little break again, and like 3 minutes probably, and we will be back with the last game. Or not. Anyway, yep. and we're back. This time it was a short one. Well, I showed you some classy moments, maybe that's why. Anyway, let's continue. Okay, P versus Z. Interesting.
Because he's old school enough that he competed in a lot of these kind of maps. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is I think Pusan, with the wealth of experience that he has,
and while I thought Stork would be in the better shape, I thought Pusan would be in a worse shape, but no, Pusan is actually in a great shape, and he's an old school player. He's older than, like, he's an old school guy. And probably not 33, probably he's 32 actually. Anyway, 32, 33.
In the upper right, in
You
the
got the
purple,
idea.
it's Pusan. In the bottom right, in the red, it's Mang.
now, I want to talk about something really crazy that we probably won't see.
Okay, go ahead.
Just like, you know, when ASL started back up, I talked about battle cruisers for a long time before we saw a game with battle cruisers. But Ultimate Endgame TBT involves battle cruisers. Now,
Why do you
Ultimate Endgame
speak about
PvP,
Terrence in P
but
versus Z?
eventually it turns into carriers and red archons. Like this is
Carriers and red
happening in
archons.
Yeah.
I don't think
I call
I
them
don't
red
think we will
archons because
see
they're
it.
not actually very dark. I mean, I guess they're darker. than
Another
the
pretty
black
crazy
archons,
is
but,
actually
like,
River.
seriously,
River against Zerg is
it could theoretically, like,
is
if
a
you
nice
look at,
tech,
like, if people
is a nice
eventually can never
tactic,
break
but
each other, you're on an
pretty
island
rarely
mission
used,
map,
and it's just
you can get into crazy stuff like that.
you need
And
to
in fact,
perform
one
it
of
nearly
the
perfect.
early draws-
Starters with recall as well.
Yeah, no, that can happen as well. But when you look at like what can
Corsairs,
occur at the
River.
very end, right? Like we have actually one of the only draws. There's been a few draws. I don't actually remember how many draws.
Like
we've had
again,
in
back to
professional
Rain.
before, but I remember
Rain
one
who
was a BTB
popularized
where no
those
one could
high
move
techs
anymore. They
like
had to just sit
River.
behind their cans with their red arc.
If I remember
It was
correctly,
fun
he
to enjoy
like
all the
decided to
expensive
make
crap.
it
It was really
against
cool.
Zerg for the first time and
Yeah, that's
popularized
just-
this
I
tactic.
think that
But
there's
it's a
less
very
than
rare
1%
one, but
chance something
still.
like that happens. But I just wanted to throw it out because this map is a bit
Maybe we
wild.
will see it.
The
I
reason why
doubt
we
it,
could
probably
ever-
not, but
ever
maybe,
get to
maybe.
that point in
Who
time is
knows?
simply because
Well,
this
it
map
depends
is a
on
big square,
in
a
which
big
build
circle
Mang will
along the
go,
edges
of
the
course.
map that's all connected, but it's blocked off to some extent by
As you can see,
murals.
Pusan's playing pretty standard.
So a lot of bases that you can expand to, you can't just push by ground. You'd have to drop, which means you could just turtle up, and then you could end up in a pretty wild and crazy game.
Yeah, and you never really know how something like that is going to turn out because if someone tries to go like way too crazy on game and then someone goes super aggressive against that, they'll win. But if you go like midway crazy on game, there goes crazy end game, and they're gonna win. And anyways, again, I don't think it'll turn out to be a game like that. But this is going to be one where I do feel like as long as no one screws up early, it's going to be pretty hard to kill each other.
So the one Zealots out here, we did see that it was Pusan trying to get a Manor Pylon up here to block off Mang. Didn't quite get it up, but we saw the way he was circling through the patches. He was looking for an opening to try to pull that off.
And
You
drop
can
the
see
shitty
pylon
Terrence
up there,
Krong,
above the purple nexus for Pusan.
by the way.
It's actually put in such a position so that it stops
Because
one of
they're
the possible
imbalanced.
Manor Pylon locations.
I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
You
it's
must
so
be,
crazy.
will
You
be
can't make a pylon to block
sorry
it.
every time
could
when
make
you
it
win the
where
game
minerals are, like touching
by
the minerals,
understanding
which
that
sometimes is
you
worth it
play
as well.
shitty race, which must
but
not
it's
be
also
there.
harder to pull off.
Feel sorry for playing this shitty race.
Is actually a very difficult thing to do.
Of course, because Terrence by trash, imbalanced, most imbalanced units in game, especially Vulture,
So
of
we
course.
have the probes continuing to rotate around. They want to try to be in here for as long as possible without losing the probe, because if they manage to do that, they can
Nah,
at least delay whatever
TVT
attack
is boring
or possibly spot the tag.
and long all the time. For me, it's PvP, the most interesting mirror matches. Terrans are boring. They're
That would be
boring
quite a
as
mistake
fuck
indeed. DT
and
tag,
lame.
Your opponent just walks you over with Dragons with range and an observer. Finally, the probes are going to be pushed out, and now they can decide exactly what it is that they want to tech to or expand to.
Looks like he should get this probe with a one last shot. Robo Bay coming here for Pusan. were.
It's like you don't need to do anything to win the game when you play turns.
Now, keep in mind, this expansion's in the back of your base, so you
But
could
yeah, you need a
get
good
an
micro
Nexus before
control
a
for
robot,
vultures, but
and
still,
possibly still hold off a
it's
two-game
imbalanced
rush.
unit.
So,
Totally.
that being
Too
said,
cheap for
it
the
appears
fastest
this game is sized
unit
up
in
to
the
be
game
one where,
with such damage. Explosive though, but
Pusan
I
is
told
probably gonna
a
try to
lot
drop
about that in
harass
the
or
previous
push his
stream,
opponent Mong.
and all the time, like I can
these are mineral bases, by the way, that they're
I can
taking.
give you
Taking on your
like
side
tens and
against on
tens
the
of
other
constructive
side,
arguments
obviously
why
it
is
was
that
broke
true,
Nexus,
and by the way absolute true, not just subjective
That's
opinion,
gonna
it's
change
not.
quick. Watch this. Now, see, that's the trick.
Oh,
You
he
make a
does the
pylon
trick,
there, click
yep.
Spam right click through the patch, so you can actually end up scouting their main, but Pusan's so good, he's ready for this.
Some of the tricks, by the way, are forbidden
Sitting
in
there,
tournament, but
and we'll pick this off
oh,
almost
he will not see
immediately. Doesn't
anything.
get really any intel other
He
than
just
has
lost a
red
little
unit
bit of
on.
minerals by
Probably
doing the
figured
trick,
that
but
already.
still, worth a
Very
try.
quick Reaver tech here for Pusan.
Now, I'm a little bit worried about how exactly Mong is going to deal with speed shuttles if Pusan decides to get that.
Yeah, it can be pretty hard, but he's already been kind of prepping for it, like that pylon in the top right of his base. He's just kind of spreading things out so he can see where attacks come in from, because he was planning on getting such a fast Nexus. But as long as he's making 3 gate range Dragoons and he has some spotters, he should be able to push the shuttle back.
He will do
well.
that trick as well,
Of course,
looks
if you have
like.
speed, then you can still do the harass, but I think he is going to have to get that, and that's a pretty big commitment.
Yeah, so the longer that Mong's on these
Just to
mining
make pylon
bases,
there,
the more ahead
and
he can get, but that hasn't quite kicked in yet.
No,
Because
he's
still
just
has tech
going
advantage,
for
and I
exp.
don't really like the fact that Pusan is going to try to push a probe through
Okay.
possibly. Oh, I'm sorry.
I think
he
he's
might actually
expanding.
expand.
But no,
yeah.
why?
Even then, I don't know if that's a good spot to expand from. It seems like that's really easy for the other player to just go harass.
Ah,
on
just
location.
pylon? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what you mean with that. That it is interesting for that point, but if you're rushing into Reaver and possibly Speed Shuttle, you should be the one with control of those harassment areas. So I think he'll be okay if he does make that, but he's still not making a Nexus. He's actually just going to push out.
Now you can push up a ramp. With
Let's
Reaver.
see,
Oh,
but
this is good.
shuttle is going, but observer is
that
oh
did not
so
spot it.
close.
He's
That
good.
was a pretty sick
That's indeed crazy.
Pause the game. Tell him you're gonna let the WG Tour admin know
It was
what
so
happened.
This
close.
is where IamMang pauses and says, "Take a screenshot." He used to be able to do that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Without upgrade
Forward
on the
now.
range, I don't
And
think he
keep in
actually
mind,
saw
one player
that.
has a
Yeah,
shuttle, the other does not.
that's
It's a big difference. Of course, his rerun high ground, a lot of shots will miss. Of course, you can dodge those shots.
Just
and
one
pick
shot.
up whatever unit the Scarab is going to hit.
and shields are going up.
So this is a good spread here by Mong, because there's no way for the other player to get up the ramp without getting hit from a bunch of different angles. The Nexus is almost done here.
Yeah, I think he's pretty safe actually. Well, he has a economical
This might turn
advantage.
into
His
Pusan just
second
having
exp
to go
working
home and set
for
up his
quite a
ramp
while.
next, because the amount of units that
But
Mong is
still,
gonna
still,
have to
micro
short
controls
here
is
gonna be really hard
so
to stop.
important at this point.
Okay, so the one thing he keeps there is the shuttle.
Ooh.
Now that's what I was talking about. Dragoon, or rather, shuttle speed, zipping around the map. If you're not in a good position, you will lose all those workers. But if you lose that shuttle with the Reavers in it, you're probably going to lose the game as well.
Actually,
We have
what
two Dragoons coming
again?
down here
Like,
now.
why
Everyone's
they're not
just wondering
discovering
that shuttle,
those
right? Or
second
those-
exp?
Yeah, in Pusan
He
shuttle,
could
the
drop
shuttle was
Reaver
over,
there
and I
and
believe only one
probably
Reaver
destroy a bunch of
IamMang
probes,
only
but
did pop out a shuttle, though.
okay, looks like he's going
Now
for
there's,
it.
we're flying down here
Yep,
towards
let's
the
see,
actual
let's
base.
see
You
how
might
many
have a
probes.
Dragoon in
Oh,
here at this point.
Gun is
Go
there,
down
but
here.
it's not enough.
Well, I mean, in the shuttle.
Why?
I think he probably added another unit
Strange,
to it.
strange.
Oh,
Why
really?
he's
I
not
think
trying to?
sometimes you
Okay,
don't,
let's
because the
see
Dragoon, it's not like when you drop a Terran.
how
Well, hold
many
on,
he
he's
will
gonna try to come
kill
in here
there.
now, and that was a
Oh,
great
that
finish.
that
But
was
he's gonna lose
fucking
that shuttle to the Reaver.
immense. Nine
Right,
kills
well,
for
it
the
does a little
Reaver.
bit of damage there,
Great.
but losing, you
Totally
know, all
worth
that
it.
tech is painful. It's not that much as far as gas goes. The Reaver's only 100 gas, and everything else is minerals, so can continue.
But
to produce
again,
that on just
Pusan
one
has
gas
advantage in
expansion. But
economy
Mong gonna
anyway.
take
His
this
second
ground
exp is
natural,
working
and
for
that
a
does
while,
mean
so
another gas.
it's
losing
not
that,
that harsh for him. It's
That
okay.
Reaver back there, this is an opening where Mong can really try to seize the map. So he stays back.
So
here.
Pusan is
And
kind of winning
From
at the
here,
moment
it's
anyway.
Like Mong can just get a contain up. Mong is basically
A little
to
bit,
take
just a
the lead,
little
is
bit.
pretty much keeping it. Even though
Not
we got a lot of
winning,
probes
but
back
I mean,
there,
he has a
it's
slight
really
advantage.
important that you don't- oh, hold up, Pusan is not ready.
Not ready, but just one. And it's milk. It's milk, of course. It's nothing. -2 goons, not bad.
So it doesn't hurt
But
the
yeah,
economy too bad, but still, this
he
is
he
really
needed to
successful.
click stop just to blow the scarab. You know, when they shoot far away, then just scarab going nowhere, and you want to click stop, then they explode and you can shoot faster. Another one. Some pro tips from me. Too bad pros, not all pros know it. Read the fucking manual, math.
Try to even up the score a little bit. Mong on these 3 bases and having that additional gas, you definitely got to give that edge to.
I would try to again drop there, because
Here comes that shuttle.
user observer, see what's there.
I don't believe so.
I don't think so, right?
Yeah, no, it can.
mind.
In some spots,
Lol,
you can
he was
do it
actually
from the
lucky.
top or the bottom,
Usually it
depending.
just will go to the milk and
Now let's see, can he do it over here?
the blow
Can he
will
go to
not
the
destroy
bottom?
anything.
I
He
believe
was
can. 'Cause
lucky.
See that spike? That spike is a doodad to make sure like zealots can't walk through it. Yeah,
Funny
actually.
thing about this
Oh,
one
that was a
Pusan
nice
doing
shot.
nothing that the other player can do.
Another,
This
whoa.
is so funny.
Yeah.
So they basically both
That's-
have points where the other player
that's
can't. So
actually-
this gives Mong a huge advantage because he has this other base.
Now
Pusan
that's
actually
pretty
has to
critical.
very quickly, and the only
If
thing
those
Pusan can do is stop
8,
those
9
resources with a shuttle, but
well,
then he has
they
to
were
look out
critical,
to
but
mine
not
thirds
so
that he has
much.
over
But
there.
he's just destroying
He's
Nexus
taking
as
all
well.
damage on this Nexus as well. He's gonna have
Whoa.
to move very quickly. Only 2 more volleys and this can fall.
Okay,
Oh, I
this
mean,
is-
yeah, it's
Mong is going to get
Oh
very
my
close to
God.
closing this game out
Yeah.
here.
it's answer from Pusan. Pusan destroying his
Take this
Nexus.
for Goon
Yeah,
as well.
like those 9 probes from of Pusan is nothing in comparing to this loss of a lot of probes and
It's
Nexus.
double speed
So,
shuttle.
so just
So
one main
maybe you
base.
can get something to happen.
It seems like in a
And
PvP on
that's
this
it,
map, the
while
most important base
Pusan
to try
has
to get
2
is the one
exps and
outside main,
gathering there
not the
from
ones in the back.
Yeah, well, mineral
From the
bases
past
are
from
only
a
gonna
long
do so
time.
much for you
But
there.
even beyond that, the fact that you can get dropped and harassed like this, where your mineral base is like,
There's no good
He's
fun with that,
checking,
too. You
like,
can
blind-
drop your
blind
orders and
spots,
then you just,
zealots are there,
bounce for a
so-
little bit. It's like, okay, this is not really what I want to be doing with this deck.
Mang is
You're gonna
placing
drop a quick dragon,
Nexus
fight 2 Reavers? Okay,
on the
that's
2
not-
hours.
That's not good either.
okay, right now it's going to be so hard for Pusan. Pusan's going to try to bust out. Okay, hold on. I was about to say it's going to be really hard for Pusan to try to bust out, but then he does it easily since the positioning wasn't
Yeah,
really
it's
set
just
up ideally.
right
for Mong,
choice
but
to just
Mong's
go
already been
back.
sucking up so many resources. He comes in here and checks. He says, okay, no Nexus. How about no probes as well? Drives these back. And all he
It's
has to
actually
do
not a
now is
bad
basically
idea to
hold
just
off
destroy those pawns,
on
but
Pusan's possible counter. Pusan is scrambling, getting 2 Nexi at once. One at the natural
yeah,
side of his
he
main,
needs
the other mineral
to defend
natural.
at the moment.
Mong very smartly coming down with that speed shuttle and the 2 Reavers, so he's really joined up all of his units here that are on the map, and he still has a lot of units in his front natural as
Pusan
well.
shows
Gotta
very
put all of his
stable,
units
nice
together,
game.
Though. He just needs to hold on against
Cool.
this attack.
Like
You
after
see
Stork,
Mong,
the second one who I want to win is
back,
Pusan
Pusan
actually,
over there
and
to the
hopefully.
left. He's trying to get him to chase his army because every, set of gateway units that pops out is going to be a bigger and bigger army here for Mong. And I think Mong's basically done it. But is Mong's army too far away? He needs to have all of this together here.
He's not going to flank this for quite some time. The Reavers pop out right now. That Xel'naga going to draw some
Whoa!
stuff.
Ooh,
my
that was a
goodness.
nice shot. Another one and 2.
Down on that shot.
Holy
Reavers
shit,
fall.
nice,
Now over
nice.
because when the other attack from behind comes in.
Oh, wait,
But
can
a
he
lot
get
of
that shuttle
goons.
before it unloads? Oh, wait, I guess,
Wait,
I
what-
guess the Reavers
Yeah,
aren't in
I
it.
don't
Never
think there's
mind. Woo!
Yeah, I believe there's nothing actually in that. I think the actual shuttle might be up with that army.
Oh, you know what? He left the Reavers at that mineral base, I think. I see 2 red dots over there. But anyways, he has a lot
Nice
of
sandwich
goons.
there though,
They're
but
trying to
he
get
has a lot of
something
goons.
done.
He still has a lot of
And
goons.
there
And
we go. And he now has
lol,
these,
he nearly
the
lost
shuttle
those
with
2
members.
rivers.
So, this game is basically over as there's
Actually,
no
if he
Mong's
would lose it,
counterattack.
then it would be
Oh, I love that. Just having 1 Dragoon over there like that. Just to,
very
to hit
critical,
those
like
workers from
very
behind.
critical.
I think a push into the Protoss' heart here, taking out Pusan's main is going to be the way to win this game.
He probably can do such a thing.
Mang is doing risky placings, but he must do that to stable the game, or he will just lose it.
Oh my god! Has to be
This is
very
such a
careful with
bad
these
angle
Reavers.
here.
Oh man.
Now,
Ooh,
he will take
nice
out
shot.
that Reaver. Problem is, even if he gets all these Reavers, which I don't think he can, there's going to be more Dragoons here anyways.
Yeah, Mong is
Pusan is winning it.
With
Nice.
less disruption, so it's just too painful at this point for Pusan, holding on as best he can. The old veteran came back and really made a show of it tonight, but unfortunately, doesn't look like he's going to be
I think
advancing.
a lot of this whole entire day goes back to that Corsair Reaver game he did earlier on. Yeah, he's just
So close. GG.
GG. It was fun, Pusan, but you will not be advancing deeper in the ASL.
Wait, what? I mixed the colors. Lol. Never mind. Okay, good game. That was a good game indeed. Nice.
Yeah, you can see Pusan, Pusan. I know that feeling. He played a good series, but I think Mong, as far as strategy goes, really outplayed him on that map. He knew when to expand and how to defend. And
I gotta say, when he flew in with the one Reaver into the main,
Looks like I really mixed the colors. I mean, confused the colors. But anyway, good game, good game.
And just harass the workers there because he did have like the
oh,
speed
that's
shuttle,
what you were talking about right there. I thought you meant he has the Dragoon in the middle of the drop when he was doing that. Yeah, I know, that would have made more sense.
I thought he would have gone to the natural, but oh well.
Yeah, it makes sense, though. You're right.
Losing that Reaver. Anyways, time for the interview. You made it to the next round, Mong. How do you feel?
네, 오늘 경기에서 이제 보완하고 싶은 점이 있다면 어떤 게 있을까요?
All the matches were very tough, but I made it to the next round, so I feel really glad.
없는 걸 알았을 때 드랍을 예상했어야 되는데 제가 한번 훑어본 줄 알고
What do you want to do for the next match?
더 경기를 꼼꼼하게 봐야겠다. 다음 경기부터는.
그 중앙에 그 병력들이 진출했을 때 아무것도 없었지 않습니까? 근데 그때는 이미
Said he missed a lot of things like scouting and whatnot, and he needs to pay more attention in the future.
진짜 이거 연습 때도 잘 안 당했는데 저 중간쯤에서 원래 저거 아무것도 없으면 돌아가야 되거든요.
Now they're talking about the first map with the Hydra drop.
그 생각을 안일하게 했던 것 같아요.
예, 그럼에도 다음 경기에서는
How did you feel about those Hydra drops?
Yep, Krong. That's it for today.
대단히 좋은 그런 위기 관리 능력을 보여주면서 승리를 따내고 결국 마지막 경기에서마저 승리를 따냈는데
Seems like you had great crisis management.
선수처럼 오랜만에 이렇게 나타난 선수들은 과감한 박성병구 선수에게 썼던 그런 전략처럼 그런 전략을 쓸 수 있지 않습니까?
Didn't you feel like a lot of pressure to face off against such legends as Pusan and Stork?
최종전에서 만나고 싶었거든요. 왜냐면 최종전 맵이 그나마 변수가 그런 전략적인 게 별로 없는 맵이어서 근데 다행히 이제
Well, when I looked at my group, when I saw Pusan was there, I wanted to meet him in the decider match because of the map. He basically didn't want to hit game on there.
딱 0이었을 때 저기 한번 살짝 보였잖아요. 그때 어땠습니까?
그때 제 드라군이 나눠져 있어가지고 만약에 지호 형이 진짜 과감하게 그냥 올라왔으면 제가 끝날 수도 있는 상황이었는데
Pusan attacked
언덕이다 보니까
towards you.
지호 형이 안 들어와 주신 것 같은데
Something about a Reaver.
예. 어렵게 16강 진출. 지난 시즌에는 너무 강한 상대를 만났는데 예. 이번에는 어떻게 될 것 같습니까?
제가 시즌 1 때 정우한테 지고 3대1로
You know,
그때 영우한테 3대1
Pusan wasn't able to get into his base because he was trying to attack uphill, and that really kind of made the game into IamMang's favor because it was so hard to break in there and get that earlier expansion.
저를 아니 어떻게 이 영어로 뽑을 수 있어 이러면서 저를 막 원망하셨는데
So do you have any plans for the group nomination phase?
이번에 잘나면 이겨봐야죠 이번에는.
네,
Funny girl.
아주 좋고 또 우리
Well,
김승현 선수를
something about blaming him last time.
또 이제 무플랜이 있잖아요.
네,
지금 보고 계실 텐데 감사 인사 한 말씀 부탁드릴게요.
제가
But again, I will just repeat that they are leading this tournament pretty well.
Any final words for your fans?
있어서 너무 좋고 여러분들이 응원해 주셔서 제가 올라가지 않았나 싶습니다. 항상 너무 감사드립니다.
네,
I promised my
축하드립니다.
fans
김승현 선수.
I'll advance the round of 16. I'll make it.
네, 2조의 최종전 경기로
And,
오늘의 대결이
thank you to all
모두
my fans
마무리가
and supporters.
됐습니다.
And most importantly, thank you to Joseph the British for the work commentator.
오늘 화요일이죠. 오늘 화요일 F조의 경기도
This was a fun day. A lot of very interesting KDPs. It's definitely a
Well,
specific matchup you can.
I was waiting for even more impressive plays. Well, mostly because of the Stork, but Stork wasn't in his best shape again.
But got outplayed tonight, seriously.
Well,
both Pusan and IamMang able to
IamMang is going further.
quite good at, so a little bit of a surprise.
Let's see how ggaemo
And
does.
well, always nice to see some Zergs as well.
just
in
dominated,
semi and
moving out of
finals.
this group immediately. I almost forgot
If they
what
make it.
got so many of their PvPs. So here's what our lineup is so far.
Yeah, it looks like the Zergs popping up a little bit more powerfully so far into that next round. And definitely showing quite a bit of power on this map pool.
Still a lot of cool games to see. Plays from Flash, from Bisu, Jaehoon, Jaedong, one of the greatest Zergs at the moment. Shine as well as very nice player.
Unfortunately, Stork didn't make it through, but the other three best players of all time have made it. A lot of great Zergs in there also. Gonna be awesome. This is our match, guys, for Tuesday night. It's gonna start a couple hours earlier than normal, 5 p.m. AST.
I don't know if I will be able to stream that one, and actually it's not super interesting for me, like they are not my favorite players. Of course it will be nice, but let's see, maybe I will, if I will have possibility. We shall see.
Yeah, it could be the case, and having all three races, having the return of Hyun, a great player from both StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2.
The most charismatic Korean StarCraft 2 player, I would say.
Okay, just shut the fuck up already. Okay guys, thank you for watching. I think I will... Not I think, I will go make some deals. A little bit later I will continue with Shadowrun Gongkong, though if you're interested then stay tuned. So yeah, that's it for today. Well, pretty interesting games, but... Well, I will not even repeat myself. Stork. Oh, Stork. Feels bad. So, yep, keep playing the great game, which is StarCraft Brood War forever. And see you soon. See you next time. Stay tuned. See you, Space Cowboys.